Here we are with another Saturday Night Live, August 15th, 2020. And the saga continues.
It does.
I hope everybody's doing freaking amazing. Rogaya, Steve, Sarah, here we are again, another week. So what's happening in everybody's lives? Everything okay?
Day 27 couldn't be better.
When you get into the groove,
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
Uh,
It's really awesome.
just
So, guy, we have an open platform here. Anybody can speak, join in, ask questions. We're here to support, inspire each other. This is basically our support group. This is the foundation of Master Fast System. We've been doing this for over 5 years. And the ones who really make huge strides, you'll see them here, quite often. And it's a beautiful thing, some people come once in a while and some people never come. And those are the ones that are always looking for answers here, there, and everywhere else, like we've all been doing for our whole lives. The answers are always in plain sight, but, we have to make a decision to want those answers to be revealed. We call them the mirrors of truth. And until we make that decision, nothing really changes. Of course, we got to take action. So we're living in a world where, especially now, like it's never been before, the society does not support this type of lifestyle. It's actually pushing complete opposite of what we do. And it's a challenge for a lot of people to change their lifestyle because of family, friends, coworkers, society in general. Makes it very challenging for a lot of people to make these changes because everything revolves around, eating in our societies. Pretty much, around the globe, in all different cultures. Everything revolves around food, pretty much. And that this is the thing that we need to, well, not need to, we choose to have a different look about, what is food about, and do we need to really eat, and so on and so forth. We're not telling anybody to completely stop eating, but what we know is the less you eat, the better you're going to feel, the sharper the mind will be, and generally, even the sciences, which we don't pay attention to science, but even the sciences have shown that life gets extended for when you reduce, caloric intake. That's the way they calculate it, food consumption. We in the realm of MFS, we've thrown out all these theories and so on and so forth, and just have a completely different look at what is creation, and how does creation happen, and how did we come here, and so on and so forth. So we take a different look at it. We look at it through the fields of plasma. Plasma is where everything starts. It's all fields of energy that intertwine and work with each other to create the matter that we see here. And this body is created exactly the same way. Even though we eat food, the food needs to be converted by our GI tract, the digestive system, through a process, so the body can use the fields. It's not the actual material of the food that makes the body. It's the fields, interactions of fields. And when we look at our existence here in that way, everything changes. Um, and you know, we've seen the metamorphosis happen in many people that have you know, started looking and working with the fields versus matter state um, type of things. There's the detoxification world that's been around for a long time. Um, is a very interesting place because in that world, they call it detoxification, but it's all about deficiencies. If something is missing from your diet, from your lifestyle, and so on and so forth, and we flipped it over and shown that that's absolutely false. It's the other way around. There's absolutely nothing missing. We're just plugged up physically, mentally, emotionally. Remove those blockages and watch the magic unfold. That happens through the soul. The soul is the conductor and the creator of our physicality. And it is for all the different parts of creation. You know, plants have a soul, rocks have a soul, animals have souls, and everything gets created through that system of fields, all through the divine creator, God, universe, whatever you want to call it. It's a higher intelligence that has everything in order, in perfect order throughout all the universes. And that's why they continue to function in perfection until we get on Earth and we look at what humans do. we make a little bit of a mess with what creation has accomplished. We think we know better through our intellect and through our technologies. We believe we know better, but you know, look in the last 100 years or so of all the technologies that we've developed. What has it done for the Earth? What has it done for humanity? Everybody's wearing a freaking mask. That's what it's done. It's made a mess. So we like to keep things simple. We don't have to worry about nutrition. We don't have to worry about calories and vitamins and minerals and all that stuff. We don't need to know how things work. All we need to know is how do we get the soul to go into an autopilot state? How do we do that? And what we found is we stop eating in the physicality, start cleaning out the plasma vacuum tube, which is the GI tract, and it triggers that automation. It triggers it. You don't need a thought process. You don't need to know how it works. It just happens, and it's absolutely magical to watch unfold what the body, the transformations that happen within the body, the mental and the emotional state. So you know, all the weakness will come to the surface when you get into what we call, you know, master fasting state. All your weaknesses will come to the surface, and this is what's mostly misunderstood in the detoxification world that has been dabbling in fasting here and there. So with this knowledge, this new understanding that we have, we embrace all the changes that come forth, and we support with all the tools that we have available, which are many, to allow that process to unfold in autopilot. And the rest, as they say, is history. MFS has rewritten the books. It's made you know, the traditional detoxification outdated and null and void. It's shaken and stirred a lot of opinions and theories and so on out there. We've seen a lot of things happen in the last 5 years. The thing about drinking water and so on and so forth, and all that stuff, you know, and cooked juices, and we've shaken a lot of intellects out there, a lot of intellects, And
Yeah, there's a lot of resentment out there too.
say that again, Steve.
I said I'm finding a lot of resentment over it out there also.
Yeah, resentment. Well, that's always something that we have to look within. What are we resenting about? You know, it's when we have a problem with somebody else, we have to look at ourselves. So that's what I say. We always have to look in the mirror. What's going on with me? Why am I feeling this way? And so on and so forth. But you know, we like to have fun, and we choose to have fun. You know, once in a while we like to eat. So let's have fun with it. But we're not doing it for any sustenance or anything like that. It's we change uh, our understanding of, you know, what food is. Instead of looking at it as a need for sustenance, uh, we look at it as a time that we can enjoy ourselves. And when we choose to do it, we choose to try and go for the least obstructive foods that are going to give us the least problems. Because we don't look at foods as calories or nutrition. We look at foods as levels of obstructiveness. And if you've been through, you just joined recently, but if you go through our website and even on Facebook, we've posted that we have a Facebook spiral, the food spiral, and in the center is the soul. And as you start moving outwards, we got air, water, and so on. As you start going outwards with different foods and heavier, and you get heavier and heavier and heavier, and you get more and more obstructive. So we're reversing that. We're going inwards and working in as close to the center as we choose to. And that makes the world of difference, because the obstructions is the thing that is in the way at all levels, physical, mental, and emotional, to allow the our physicality to go back to what I call is the perfect blueprint, which each and every one of us has one that's been created. It comes from the soul. The only reason when we come into this matter state and things are not in line with that blueprint is because of obstructions. So we remove the obstructions and we start seeing the things start correcting themselves magically. It's that simple. We don't need to have any thought processes and this, that, and the other thing about it in debates. It works, and it works every time. We've seen, you know, tens of thousands of people master fast in the last 5 years, and the only time it doesn't work if somebody doesn't do it. So yeah, we have fun. We have lots of fun doing this and watching and supporting each other. And you know, if you're not going to have fun with it, you know, most people are not going to stick with it. This lifestyle is a serious lifestyle, meaning that you're going to see massive changes, and a lot of people, let's put it, most people that we've seen, I've been doing this for 31 years. Most people are not ready for these massive changes. That's the truth of the matter. You know, the changes are available for anybody who wants them, but we have to ask ourselves, are we ready for these changes? And it always comes down to that. There's no magic pill. There's a magic process, and we've connected with something that really allows that magic process to unfold beautifully. We don't have all the answers. We never ever say that, but what we're doing is very powerful and potent, like nothing I've ever seen in all the years being in the alternative health, which it's called alternative, but it's been around since the beginning of time. You know, plants and herbs and so on and so forth. Um, it's been taken over by the medical mafia. You know, they've taken over everything and claim ownership to all these things, and you know, say that we're the alternative. But in reality, you know, it's been around since a long time, eating and fasting and so on and so forth. We believe the fasting is the divine natural state, not the, when you're eating is actually the fasting state. But to allow it to express itself and allow that magic to happen, there needs to be a certain thing to happen, which is that GI tract needs to get at a very clean state, and then you start seeing the magic happen. before you clean, if you have this all these obstructions, you're not going to see much happen. You take herbs, this, that, and the other thing, you're going to get some results. You change your diet, yeah, you're going to get results because you're changing the level of obstruction. But everybody plateaus. You plateau, you change diets, plateau. And that's something we've not seen in mass fasting. There's absolutely no plateau. You keep digging, and you keep changing. How far is it going to go? We don't know. We're still young at this, but it's been an amazing journey, and we continue as much as as long as I'm around. We're going to keep going and continue to watch the magic happen. I don't know how much you've read, but when we started off, we were suggesting people doing long full MFS, 108 days or 90 days or 40 days or whatever. But after many people have gone through that, and we've seen the state of emotions that people are in and the levels of obstructions that people are in today's, as general as humanity, we've seen most people are absolutely not ready for a powerful transformation like that. And some people have gone back to, sad diets, and some people have been on, for example, vegan or vegetarian, have gone back to eating animal products. It's just because emotionally they're not ready to face the mirrors of truth. Other people can interpret it however they want, but that's the way I've seen it. I've been doing this for 31 years, and I've gone through, myself, and it's always the emotions, whether it's our own personally, our family members, and also our ancestral emotions that are coming through us. We are a part of all that. We cannot separate ourselves. We are made up of that. We it's all part of who we are. So we can continue to live and feed into these obstructions and add to them, or we can start working through the art of subtraction and restoring balance for ourselves and for our lineage, the whole lineage of ancestors. And that's amazing when you understand that that's possible. So that's what we are doing basically in short. And we love to see people, doing some homework and educated, start reading, start watching a lot of videos, especially watching testimonials and see what people have gone through and their mindset and so on and so forth, and the transformations they've been through. And that'll help, it helps get people ready. But really understanding comes through the experience. Once you go through the experience, then the understanding comes through. We can read, we can get all the PhDs and paperwork. There's absolutely no comparison to than when somebody goes through the actual experience. So we put the effort and energy into experiencing it, and be open to the new understanding that will come through. I haven't seen it not come through. Everybody who experiences it will remember it for the rest of their time, because it's so profound, the change and the feeling that you get living on fields versus living on physical foods. It's just two completely different states. And when the master fasting state mimics living on fields very, very beautifully, because everything we use is physically dead. There's no life in it, in the physical realm. It's all dead. And that's what shocked the detoxification world once we started sharing this stuff. I got bashed left, right, and center for many, many months. So, and then we said, don't drink water anymore. And then they go, what? And I was one who was a big water promoter, trying to get the best water and this and that. But as that new understanding came through, and the the light came on, and the understanding that we don't need to drink water because your body doesn't get hydrated from drinking. Only the body can feed, hydrate, purge, build, balance, and heal itself through the soul from source. And if you understand that sentence, it has a lot of information in there, and it's really that simple. It all happens through soul from source. Everything. The whole physical aspect of everything. And we can get fed through there. We can be restored and healed. The same energy that created you it can also heal you. And healing does not come from anything else. It doesn't come from adding. It comes through subtraction to allow that soul to work in autopilot. And that's where you'll see the magic unfold. Hey, John.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, another day. We keep going, right?
Yeah, I'm bloody hot. I just it's really hot out where I am.
Is it?
Yeah, yesterday was like scary hot.
Bad heat wave out there, aren't you?
Yeah, like yesterday was
Oh,
worse.
Midwest.
Today is okay, but sorry, I have to clean up.
We're getting some really nice weather and some heat too. It's awesome. I love it.
Good.
Winter's around the corner, right?
Shit.
So let's enjoy it.
That's hot.
Yeah, I think we had 32 Celsius today or something. It was pretty good.
Oh yes, Sarah said 107
That's hot.
Yeah.
up in Santa
I
Rosa.
had 26 degrees 2 days last week in Baghdad.
Yeah.
Can you adjust your mic again, Steve? It may be in an auto and it changes. If you can see that, because
How the hell did I find that?
No, that was a
Sarah.
good.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying that was a good when I turned on, you were preaching the gospel. It sounded really good.
I've been talking for 5 years, John. It's a lot of information that came through me, and it's all out there. But I need some people to keep me charged.
Yeah.
I need feedback.
Well, it's like I was thinking when you were talking about that just now, like how in the scientific world, like where you have all these different nutrients, you have macronutrients, micronutrients. It's like what they're doing. If you look at it from their perspective, what they're doing is they're trying to find balance by all of these various nutrients that they discover more and more of. But in reality, it's just it's a paradigm that's not. It's very experimental. It's not like they're just trying to do their best to like create some kind of balance, and then it's a whole industry now. It's a giant industry, the nutritional supplement industry.
Yeah, the mentality is no different than the mainstream medical, right? They add one chemical and then another chemical and another chemical, and they keep trying to create balance by adding this, that, and the other thing. But every time you add something, what happens? There's an imbalance from something else, and it's a losing battle. It's no difference with supplements. It's the same thing happens. Yeah, you're going to feel the effects, but at a cost. Always, every time you add, there's going to be a cost, because whatever you put in the physical body, the body stops making it. Generally, that's basic concept. So if you eat, the body stops making its own energy.
Yeah, it's the same with economics. And with economics, you try to manipulate it somehow. So you do a stimulus program, or you do this or that, but then there's always imbalance on somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's a response. So it's not natural, to try to manipulate systems,
It's all about manipulation. Everything we do as humanity. Look what we're doing to nature, to the earth and so on and so forth. It's no different. We're adding this, that, and the other thing, and changing this, that, and the other thing, trying to correct things. Meanwhile, Mother Nature comes in and wipes everything out because it's so imbalanced.
Yeah.
And we think Mother Nature is destroying. We just don't understand what's going on. We have the lack of understanding what Mother Nature is doing and what we've done to Mother Nature for Mother Nature to get into that position that she has to come in and restructure and re-clean up things. But if we allow things to just do their own thing, then you're going to see a lot of magical things happen, just like what's been happening with COVID right now. When this thing started, right, everything was shut down. What do we start seeing? And over here, even just right here, started hearing the birds singing and this and that. Everything was things where, the air is getting cleaner. Dolphins were swimming in the canals of Venice. We didn't do anything. We just stopped. We put in a semi-fast, you know what I mean? Completely. And things started correcting themselves. So it's no different. Everything is based on that basic principle. Leave it alone. It works on its own. You don't have to think about it. We don't have to try and figure it out. Because the more we dissect, the more further away we get, the more imbalance we get. That's what I've been finding for the last 31 years. I got thrown up from here, from there. I got into trouble so many times, just listening to all the different sciences and so on and so forth. And at the end of it all, it was just a journey to find, we need to do nothing.
Yeah. And it is magical too. That's the thing that was so cool about, when was that? That was like in late April, early May. There was a period of about 6 weeks that was just utterly magical, And it's interesting that everybody noticed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But most people are wearing masks today. It's very interesting what's happening. Very interesting. So, it's just fear is a very strong motivator, very strong. And anybody who wants to manipulate somebody else can do it through fear, right?
And it's like a mask. It covers your mouth, which is not only how you communicate, but it's also a sensuous.
Yeah.
It's like your sex, your lips, and the mask covers that. And then you can't touch anybody. And it's just like it.
It's really strange going out to stores and stuff. Everybody's wearing masks and you're trying to communicate. And it's like, there's something weird, a weird feeling going on because you can't see the facial experience, and it's muffled and it's like, what's going on here? And people are putting up with this? Okay. Okay.
It's almost like it was preconceived, because if you think of all the things you could do to people to get them to behave differently in a very sudden manner, mm-hmm. The mask and the no touching thing and the distancing, it's like they went right for the jugular.
Yeah, they're dehumanizing humanity. They're making us.
What they do.
Yeah.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Sort of.
What, down 50%?
Yeah, we're social creatures, right? We like to interact with each other and so on and so forth, and it's been all removed right now, for the most part, and it's a weird feeling for me. It's really weird.
But on the
removing your identity, they're removing personal identity. They're making you a part of the collective. That's what's going on.
Yeah, like the Borg from Star Trek, if you've ever watched it. We will assimilate you.
Very easily, too.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Wisconsin, there's a government agency that mandated that all their meetings moved onto Zoom. So everybody obviously is at home. And the head of whoever this agency is mandated that they all must wear masks while on the meeting on Zoom at home by themselves.
On Zoom.
On Zoom by themselves. They say it projects feeling of safety.
Wow.
That's going too far, man. It's like I walk by this street when
It went too far,
my
John.
friend lives on the street, and some neighbor put up the sign at the beginning of the street. You know, like you close off the street when you're having a block party, right? But it was like this sign, and it said essential traffic only. So it's like, what? What, you're telling people that they can't drive down the street, you know, to get to some other place? It's just like, what?
It's getting weird. It's getting really weird, but we got to keep our focus sharp to where we want to go, because we can't give this stuff any energy. It's just really weird for everybody. You know, we're all going through this experience. It's just really weird what's going on. Really weird. You know, the way people are interacting with each other has changed dramatically.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think people really are trying to make things as normal as possible and like communicating. Like I just went to the farmer's market, and it was actually really nice. It was like, it wasn't crowded, and it was almost normal. Like I've been going there for years, and it was almost normal. People were wearing masks, and pretty much that was the only thing that, and then the way they distribute food is a little different. They put it in paper bags, and like they have it pre-packaged. But as far as the selection and like the general attitude, it was pretty much normal. um you know, I think people want to feel normal, you know. I don't think people are enjoying it.
Yeah, well, it's very interesting, that's for sure. It's you know, every time I walk in a store, where's your mask? So what do most people do? They put on a mask. They don't want to have to deal with anything like that.
Yeah, you never wear a mask in the store?
I only got kicked out of one store.
Really? That's good.
Yeah. So, you know, I've been going everywhere, no masks, because the law allows certain exemptions. You know, in up here anyway, and I think in the States they have it as well. I don't know where else, different countries, but yeah, through religious or creed or medical reasons and so on and so forth. You don't have, and they cannot ask what the reason is.
Well, see, that alone makes me think that there's still some sanity in the from above, from, you know.
You know, to some degree, because there are people, you put a mask on them, they're going to get into a what do you call it?
Altercation.
Yeah, like they feel like they can't breathe and stuff.
Oh.
What is that? What do you call that again? Slipped my mind. Like an attack, you know, anxiety attacks. You can't put I might put a mask on my mother, she'll be freaking out. No, we tried, not even a second. She goes, "Hey, this guy, I can't breathe." You know, so there's people there's just no way you're gonna be able to put a mask on. You can't. We can force somebody to stop breathing. Can't do that. then it's really crossing the line. But they're doing it in a sneaky way, because I just read an article just before coming on Zoom. There was an experiment done with surgeons that they didn't wear masks for a certain period of time, and the actual infection rate went down. Went down. So it's what's going on? You know, if you I posted it on my personal page, I believe. So you guys have time to read it. It's interesting. I didn't get through it all, but just the highlight stuff, you know, they went down.
So do they offer any logic behind the reason why
I
it
didn't
went
go
down?
through the whole thing, but to my just with the basic understanding that, you know, common sense. What happens when you have this thing here, this muzzle, with moist air, moist, wet air? What happens right away with moisture and heat? Bacteria,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm seeing, and then that starts to spread, and that's why when they don't wear it, the rates went down. You know, when they have people's bodies, you know, opened up and stuff, which is not natural. You know, you don't want to be spitting in somebody. That's going to be, but you know, in generally, we have an immune system that our Creator made for us, which takes care of everything for the most part, unless we are in what? In a very obstructive state where, you know, environments dictate outcome. If your environment is conducive to take on all these viruses and bacteria, it will. If it's in a cleaner state, it's a walk in the park for your immune system. You know, some people are going to feel a little bit of this and that, no big deal. Some people won't feel anything. Coronavirus is a common cold virus. It's the strain from a common cold. Does a common cold kill people? Of course it has. People that are in a very obstructive state get a cold and their life ceases to exist. Is it the cold that kills them? No, it's their lifestyle that they've had for the past, you know, many, many decades. And this is the thing that medical science, you know, has gone the other way with the Pasteur theory. Pasteur, you know. So it's very, very challenging to bring on new ideas and concepts to most people. If it's not mainstream, most people will not pay attention to it. And unless we're willing to keep our mind open, it's like a parachute. If it ain't open, it won't work. So we must keep our mind open, you know. And science in general is never about finding the absolute answers. It's always evolving, right? Always evolving. It's never, because they know they don't have the absolute answers, because if you look at just the past 50, 100 years, it's been changing all the time. So how can they have the absolute answer? How can you believe any of the nonsense they're talking about? You can't, because it's going to change again and again and again. You know, if we start looking at the new quantum type science, you're going to get a whole different picture, because it's closer to, you know, what we're talking about here with the fields. You have a whole different picture, you know, with Bruce Lipton and Greg Braden and Joe Dispenza, and there's many others that are, you know, talking in the fields. And when you start paying attention to that, all the other stuff looks like it's you know, make-believe fiction, because it really is. Because science is mostly looking at the matter state of things, dissecting. That's all they're looking at. But how did this matter state come to be? That's the big question that they don't ask science. They're looking for the answer in the matter state, which you're not going to find. The answer is coming from, you know, the fields. And when we look at that and we start experiencing what the fields do, then you're going to say, yeah, that stuff is all nonsense. It only has so much validity that can be used within the matter state. For example, chemistry. You know, there's certain things you don't want to mix, this, that, and that. You burn yourself, you blow up, or whatever. There's certain validity within the matter state realm. But when you're talking about the basics of how creation functions to create things and so on and so forth, you can't pay attention to that science. It's going to bring you to dead ends all the time and get yourself in trouble. That's my experience. What do I know though? You know, science is a funny thing. But what are they doing now? How many scientists come forth that they shut down their YouTube channels and Facebook accounts and Twitter? What's going on? They're putting muzzles on even their own scientists. It's getting pretty crazy. So let's focus on the fields. Let's focus on the plasma love always flowing, connect into that. Let's see ourselves in a beautiful, peaceful state as a whole planet of humanity, of the animals and the plants. Because if we continue to feed on their stuff, it's not going to be a pleasant place to be. Can you imagine being like this for the next 5-10 years?
No way.
I can't see that. There's just, I can't. You know, in general, most people believe that this is going to be over soon.
Way.
There's no indication.
If you read Agenda 2030, it's from the WHO website. They have it on there as well. It used to be called Agenda 2020. They've been working on this for decades. It's all spelled out, exactly everything that's taking place right now. It's all written in there. That's their notice that they've given to us. Many years ago, this was written. So.
But that's like, is that like a serious, that's like a conspiracy theory?
It's not conspiracy when they have it written in their website from years ago. No, it's written out. It's
my friend, I thought that I have a friend, I thought she was into that. But like the forest fires that are going on, the big ones in California over the last couple of years, he was saying that what they're trying to like move people to the urban areas so that people that live out in the country, they just burn them out and then they get forced to move to the urban areas. And it happened pretty clearly.
It's written in Agenda 2030, exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, man.
Geoengineering.
Yeah, it's all written out. It's all spelled out. People could ignore it. Okay, ignore it. It's written out. That's their plan. That's their agenda. And because of this COVID thing, they pushed it forth years in advance than it's planned. They want to have it all implemented by 2030. Read it up if you want to use your time for that. But they can say conspiracy all they want. This is not conspiracy anymore.
None of it is.
No. No. So what do we do, guys? We continue on our paths, keep raising our field strength. Let's continue sending them all, love, peace, balance, and correct conduct to their souls, and continue. Never let off. You just keep the gas pedal to the metal, and let's keep pumping that plow out, because this is how we can. The only way really we can work on the whole planet is by working on ourselves. We can't do it any other way. This is where we're in this state because of humanity as a whole has been looking out there for all their answers, and this is where we're at. We're wearing masks now, so the answers are never out there. The answers were always within. And if you look at all the spiritual gurus from the past, present, or whatever, they all said this very similar thing. You gotta go within, on silence, fix yourself. All of them, they all have the same, doesn't matter what religions, whatever, no religions, it's all in line with that same basic principle to go within. And, you know, none of us, I'm not perfect, have not perfected or anything, but we got to continue putting our conscious effort to that, because what else is there? Are we going to keep going for more knowledge and more of this and that and the other thing, searching more? It's gotten us to this place. It doesn't work. It does not work. We need to leave things alone and let things reset back to balance on their own, because that's the only way it's going to happen. Anything man interferes with, it's going to be screwed up. That's what's always been happening. I haven't seen evidence in any other way where man did something and in the long term it benefits us and the planet. It's always the opposite. So if anybody else has any other ideas, I don't know, present them, because that's the way I see it. We leave things alone, it's amazing things happen.
Well, it's like this. It's like if we're destroying the ecosystem and we're destroying the Amazon rainforest and other rainforests, and you know, Mother Nature is retaliating with a vengeance, right, against us. And so the political aspect of it, where you have, you know, the level of conspiracy and like people trying to dominate and you know, hold on to their power. It's like maybe the political aspect is a reflection of how we're like Mother Nature is, you know, she hits us with hurricanes and earthquakes and stuff like that when she's angry, right? And then she hits us with a virus. But I'm just wondering, like what came first, the chicken or the egg? Like did I know, but did the arrogance of humanity, you know, you ruin Mother Nature, and then so then the arrogance like just is hanging on, like what actually ruined it in the first place, right? Like we destroyed nature out of arrogance, and then
Well, we're a parasite on the planet. We are a parasite. What does a parasite do? It usually destroys the host.
Yeah.
But that's not its purpose.
No.
In nature, it's not its purpose. It's there to do its job to clean up. Like the real parasites are, you know, freaking humans. They have no purpose, but they don't destroy. But anyway, we're in interesting times, so we just have to continue to elevate their souls and be open to the understanding that things can correct themselves, because they will, and they do when you allow it. Okay, let's. You have something else to say, John?
No, it's just that I can't see. I mean, I agree. I just can't see that they're going to allow that to happen. You know, let people just, you know, let the virus just go on raging in the herding paradigm. Like I don't see them stepping aside and allowing the herding paradigm to operate. That's all.
Well, yeah, their goal is written in Agenda 2030. So, yeah, you're correct. But it's we the people who have the power, right? We people, not them. Just you know, they have. This is the way I look at it. They all have families and so on and so forth, and they need people to enforce it all. All the people who enforce it all have families and so on and so forth. Where is it going to stop? Eventually, people are going to say, "What the hell am I doing to myself?" That's what I see.
Yeah.
So you have to look at the bigger picture. We, the people, have the power. They are nothing without us. It's just because they've been able to manipulate and enslave and control that they are doing what they're doing. But eventually, they're going to be all wiped out. That's the way I see it. It's just a matter of time. We're going to be through some rough times still, and you know, let's stay focused. Gaia, you want to ask some questions?
Okay, so I've got my sister here, Abida.
Hello.
Hello. And I'm Rugaya, so she can go in and ask some questions.
Hi, hello. Like Rugaya said, we just joined yesterday, and so thank you. And so I've been trying to do, you know, going through the files and reading and all that. But I just wanted to know if there's anything like any sort of tips and help that I can get from you guys in starting on this master fast. You know, how to best do it, and what are the things that you need to have, just to narrow it down a bit. Yeah.
Have you purchased the protocol, the MFS protocol?
I have purchased it, yes.
Have you read through that?
I've just started reading it. There's a lot of information, and so I've just started going through it, but I would like to start fairly soon. So I was just wondering, you know, because I think you need to buy herbs as well.
Yeah.
And we have quite a few of Dr. Robert Morse's herbs still. Is it okay? Can one use those as well, or do you have to buy?
You can use them up. You know, MFS herbs are created for master fasting. They're at a whole different level than anything else that we've come across. But I wouldn't ask you to dump your herbs. Use up what you have. Just double up the doses. Ours are very potent.
Okay. Okay. Yes, we will. We will look at buying at some stage. We've just gone back into only Auckland into a lockdown again. We on Wednesday. Hey? Yeah, this past Wednesday, and but the rest of the country is in level 2. It's only in Auckland where we are. So it's going to be sort of, it's going to take a while if you order things and so on. Also, we don't have the Concord grapes that you mentioned.
Yeah, so juices you can use. It's not only Concord grapes. It's all listed in the protocol of which juices you can use. You can use any dark grape or pomegranates or cranberry, berries, different dark berries. There's lots of juices you can use.
Is there anything you want to ask? No, I think that's fine. Yeah.
Like the best is to go through the protocol a few times. Start watching some testimonial videos in the YouTube channel, MassFast YouTube channel. You know, and start doing. If you have any questions, start doing some searches in the Facebook group. And pretty much most questions have been asked. It's very, very rare now for me to get a new question. Most things have been asked already. So if you can't find them there, you know, and so on and so forth, then you know, by all means, we're here, you know, to support each other. If you have questions, you know, we're here to answer. But specifically, things on the protocol, the who's, what's, and where's, and it's all written out very clearly, very easily to understand. The technicality part of it, if you're confused a little bit, stuff like that. But the protocol is for the people who have purchased the protocol. We don't discuss specifics, you know, all the detailed things in public, because these are public videos. These are for members only, the protocols, and for immediate family. So, you know, just go through that. There's a lot of information in there, as you've seen, and just go through it slowly. Take notes, highlight areas, whatever, and you'll start getting a better picture. Everything is very, very, very simple. If I was, we highly recommend to focus on living the lifestyle, choosing one of the levels. For most people, a level 2, they should be able to start MFS level 2. I think it's near the bottom part of the.
Yeah, I saw something like that. Yeah.
So yeah, starting on level 2 is a great place for most people to start. If somebody is in more of a serious situation, they can start on 3 or 4. But what we've seen when people, are trying to do a master fast to fix a problem, instead of focusing on living the lifestyle, they're going to be led to failure because they haven't understood that this is a lifestyle. It's something that you want to embrace and love every moment of, the choices you're making, instead of doing it as an event, which, yeah, you're going to go through the experience. You're going to get some amazing things happen. But then when you go back to food, you're not going to be happy. And that's what we've seen. So you need to have the balance of being able to fast, master fast, and break your fast over and over and over again. This is basically on a week-to-week basis. And when you've done that for several months, then you start getting a better understanding. Especially when you've got a year or 2 under your belt, then you're going to get a much better understanding. Somebody who jumps in is a long MFS, so yeah, they're going to get amazing transformation. But, we've actually had a few people that, one too many that got themselves in trouble when breaking their incorrectly.
Very good advice.
Emotions go cuckoo when you start eating. You don't get hungry until you start eating. You don't get thirsty until you start drinking. It's a whole different idea of what's out there. What about when I'm hungry? Well, you only get hungry when you eat. You don't get hungry when you don't eat. That's pretty difficult for people to understand that have not been introduced to this type of information. What do you mean you only get hungry when you eat? Yeah. And because you've eaten for many years, there's a lot of obstructions in the body. And when you start fasting, you're going to get all these obstructions giving you cravings. It has nothing to do that you're hungry. Nothing at all. Because once you've cleared very well, you're going to see that hunger goes away. When you're doing a master fast, for example, you start getting cravings. If you get yourself busy using the tools and so on and so forth, you'll see that the hunger goes away. So was it really hunger? Or was it a false craving? And they're all false cravings. You can live on full level 7 for indefinite period of times, and people have done it. But that's going to be very rare for most people because we're living in a society that eats. For now, everybody mostly eats, and it's not something that's easy to do when everybody that you associate with eats. It's something that you have to evolve into over time, and it's going to come to you naturally. If you're going to tell yourself, well, I don't want to ever eat again, good luck. It's something that you're going to evolve into. It's going to come naturally to you, that you're going to, all of a sudden, next day comes and I don't need to eat. And the next day comes, I don't need to eat. And it keeps going and it keeps going and it keeps going. It doesn't happen through a conscious choice that I'm never going to eat again. Doing that is putting a lot of emotional strain on you. And most people will fail doing it that way. So we allow things to happen. And that's the way it is. Like, embrace all the things that come through. So right now they're not taking any shipments into your country.
I don't know, but I've ordered a book and it's been weeks and I've been waiting. So yeah, so we will see. We don't think that the lockdown is going to go on for more than a month. So yeah.
When did this just start recently?
It's just started this past Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
and it's only for Auckland. Yeah,
Okay.
because this is where the most cases have been found. So
Where are you guys?
New
in
Zealand.
Auckland, in New Zealand, yes, Auckland, New Zealand.
Never mind. Yep.
Yeah. Interesting times.
Person you got running your country, boy.
Sorry.
That's one crazy woman that's running your country.
Aren't they all crazy?
I haven't seen anybody running a
Doesn't
country.
matter what country it is.
Exactly.
You have to be crazy to want to run a country.
Exactly. To take on that position, you have to be crazy.
Man, oh man. It's it is what it is.
Yeah.
We send them love, elevate their souls. That's all we can do. They're
Yeah.
gonna have to figure it out on their own, through their own soul. You know, they in this realm, in this physical realm, they believe they're above the law. Pretty much most of these politicians. And if you don't believe that, just look at the things they do. They lie continuously.
Time being, they are above the law.
Yeah, they lie continuously and they get away with it over and over and over again. So the laws are written for them to be able to enslave us, and they can do whatever they want. You know, just over here, all these guys are enforcing the masks and stuff, and they're not doing it themselves. One guy down, not just the other town, got caught playing hockey, and without a mask. And then where they're supposed to be mandating that nobody's supposed to be playing, children are blocked from playing in playgrounds. He got caught red-handed, man. You know, it's just crazy what's going on.
Yeah, but anyway, thank you for all that information.
Yeah.
We just have to keep on reading and going through all the info. Yeah.
That's gonna. As we say, we can't spoon feed everybody. You need to live it. You need to educate yourself, and when you start reading and watching videos, then you'll get more of a feel of what we're doing. But it's very simple. On a master fasting day, we are basically doing TNT, which is the short form for tea and tinctures. We're doing that twice a day. We have a wet window and a dry window. Every day we have a wet window and a dry window. And then we also have the plasma pudding, which is the psyllium clay and charcoal mix that we do once a day. And we're washing the colon every single day that are not dry days. So this is the basic thing that we're doing. And during the wet window, we're just sipping on the juice. And we're, drinking the minimum 2 liters a day. And then we have our dry schedules, right? Every day, every week, every month, every season change. We have a dry schedule. That's the lifestyle. And then on the eating days, we choose to eat whatever days. We can continue with our dry windows, right? And we try and keep our eating window within a few hours a day, like 3 hours, 4 hours max. Keep a small window for eating, and the rest of the day you can be sipping on the juice. Which those days you can call them hybrid days if you're doing the whole protocol when you're eating. And we're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And if you're on level, like say 2, every few weeks you can throw in a level 3 or 4, and then you go back to level 2, and you just train yourself to enjoy both the fasting and breaking the fast and eating states. Because if you don't enjoy it, you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna do it. When you go through what we call healing reactions, others call them what do they call them again? I can't even remember the name.
Healing crisis.
Healing crisis. There you go. We look at healing crisis as anything you do to the body that's not natural. For example, eating. People get into healing crisis through eating. They don't get through it through fasting. Fasting pulls out the obstruction, so it's a healing reaction. Go through getting yourself treated through medications and so on. These are healing crises. The body is doing everything it can to try and keep itself alive because it's being bombarded by unnatural things. Those are crises. When we're in a master fasting state, we go through healing reactions. The body is trying to purge obstructions in the physical, mental, and emotional state. That's all it's trying to do. It's that simple. We don't need to know who, what, where, when, or how. All we do is when these things come to the surface, because all weaknesses come to the surface as healing reactions, we embrace them. We use all the different tools to allow us to pull ourselves through that time. And sometimes these healing reactions can last minutes, could last hours, could last days, and could last weeks in some cases. How long? When the body's finished what it's doing, the reaction's taken care of. I've had days where I felt amazing and felt all I was going to die, and then felt amazing again and felt I was going to die in one day. This is what could happen when you're in a master fasting state, because we're moving out volumes of obstructions because it's very aggressive, powerful fast. So we just have to understand that and not be in that fear state. And that's why we do these calls and so on and so forth, because sometimes somebody's going through a healing reaction. Or we have the tools. Go on the Facebook page, punch in what you're going through and see. You can watch videos of people going through things and so on and so forth. And your answers will be there. If not, ask the question and so on and so forth. The last thing you want to do is panic and be running to the ER. Some people will do that because that's where their belief system's at. They're not ready to have full trust in their soul. All we're asking you is trust in your soul. Don't trust in me. For God's sake, don't trust in me. Trust in your soul. Because that's where everything is happening from, through source. God is, the one who created our souls, and your soul is what created you. So that intelligence can fix everything that is not in line and balance with creation. And when we allow these things to happen, they do. They always do. It's easier said than done for us to say, don't panic and all that, because you've not went through these experiences. But when you go through one little healing reaction, then you get through it. Oh, okay. Then you go through another one, maybe a little more, and then you get through it. Oh, okay. And as you do that over and over, the fear starts kind of melting away, and you start understanding, okay, so this is what's happening. The body is just doing work. It's doing what it knows what to do. And you embrace that. And you don't worry about it. There's going to be times that are going to be a little more scary, especially when things happening with the heart. That freaks out a lot of people. Kind of pains and pinchy or palpitations or skipping beats or whatever. These are scary for people. But that is what I've seen in all these years. My understanding is every time that you're getting feelings in the heart, it's emotional for sure as well, but physically there's chemicals and or toxins that the body is trying to move out. I said emotional. Emotional is the number one. So once they get flushed, clears up, and no more problems. Like my dad was born with a heart murmur. I had a heart murmur up until the age of once I started fasting in 1990, and I think it started getting better within a couple of years. By the time I hit the year 2001-ish, they were all gone. I didn't have any more of those. But the information we have now, people get rid of it in months or several months. They didn't have to wait as long as I did. I just didn't have the information that we have now, right? It took decades to accumulate the understanding of what we have presented in Masterfast system, and there's nothing that we've seen that gets the job done quicker. But as we say, 9 years is a good start. 9 years is a good start. 9-year cycle that the physicality works through. And we put that because don't worry about the time. Just allow and enjoy your time, love what you're doing, and don't worry about any time frame, because you're going to get results in days, weeks, months, and results going to continuously happen as you live the lifestyle. And that's the way it is. So, why do we need to worry about that stuff? No need to. Our intellect always gets in the way. That monkey mind. It's always chatting away. Put it aside. It'll always be there.
Yeah, impatience too. Like I tend to get impatient.
Yeah, well, we all do. We all get impatient.
But I was going to mention to Rogaya, I think it's okay to talk about this, but like if you don't have grape juice, you can actually cook. You can cook juices.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have pomegranate, it's preferred to cook it, and then add the lemon to it.
I read about that, yes.
Yeah.
So like you just take some fruit and you mash it up and you mix it. I don't know, like if you guys would mix it with water, or would you just cook it alone?
Best to juice it and cook the juice. Or you can cook the whole thing and and then just strain it. That's what's it called? There's a type of juicer that you cook the whole grape and then it separates it, the juice from the grape. You don't have to add water, I don't believe. There's so much fluid in there in the fruit itself. But yeah, if you for some reason you can't access bottled juice, you make your own. There's people who have done watermelon. They've used watermelon. They've juiced it and cooked it because they couldn't get any other juices. And watermelons are available in most places. So watermelon works really great too. It's another one. So it tastes like candy when you cook watermelon.
Mm.
It's really nice.
The deer ate all our watermelon this year.
Sorry, say that again, Steve.
I see the deer ate most of our watermelon this year.
Yeah.
The deer.
Yeah. Wiped out a whole, I don't know, 30 plants.
Really?
Went right down, took all the tops off.
Wow. So
really tough growing year. Not very productive at all.
are you getting more deer than usual?
Hard to say. I haven't seen them in there this year.
Hmm.
I mean, physically, see them. They're there. I mean, you can see the tracks.
Hey, Brittany. Yeah, it's well, they got to eat too, right?
Well, they could eat something else, that's for sure.
Today I seen a squirrel run off with a tomato. I didn't know they ate tomatoes.
Oh yeah.
Well, I find melon very cleansing.
Melons are great.
Like I finished a master fast with, well, when I started eating again, I just broke it with a whole melon, and it was like all hell broke loose. Very cleansing.
Yeah, melons are one of the easiest fruits, probably the easiest fruit to process. Very very juicy.
And it's like astringent.
Yeah, but, well, more of a diuretic type of thing.
Diuretic.
The melons. So it helps people who have kind of like a DMATS challenges, but that's always plugged up lymph and GI tract, and of course the kidneys are going to be plugged up if those are plugged up. So it always goes down the line. So what do? We clean out the GI tract, and everything else starts getting cleaned out. It's that simple. Hi, Tatiana.
I mean, what's the difference between, as long as we're talking terminology, what's the difference between diuretic and astringency? Like, I never was able to make the distinction.
A diuretic is something that will help move fluid out of the body.
Yeah.
Astringent is, yeah, what's the word?
Stripping. Stripping is a good word.
Yeah, kind of, to some degree, stripper. But
Loosening, I don't know.
what's how can you?
Like witch hazel. You put witch hazel on your face. I like the feeling of witch hazel.
Somebody look up the definition of astringent. It's it's kind of tightening.
Exactly. Astringent.
But I mean, like,
Causing the contraction of skin cells and other body tissue.
Yeah, squeeze.
contraction.
When you put a lemon in your mouth, you get that feeling. So it's helping things squeeze. Whereas diuretic is moving fluid out, helping move more fluid out than normal.
What about like wine? Like if you took red wine and you cooked out all the alcohol, I wonder if you could use that. Just cook it.
Somebody's asked that before.
Just cook it until like the alcohol.
But boiling anything that has alcohol in it does not get rid of all the alcohol.
It doesn't.
No. The way to get rid of alcohol out of fluid is through air movement. So you have an open pan, and if you put a fan, that's the quickest way to get rid of alcohol out of any fluid. Boiling it doesn't. I had there was a website that explained it all, and like I said, that's the people that want to remove the alcohol out of the tinctures. We explain the method, but if you put it in a cup overnight or an open pan, and add some extra kidney tea, because there won't be nothing left, and you just allow the air movement, and you'll see in the morning there won't be any alcohol left, because it all evaporates. But for some reason, boiling does not. It actually probably helps lock some in for some reason. Cooking with wines and stuff, it doesn't remove all the alcohol. Burning it off, it doesn't remove all the alcohol. We would think it would, but it doesn't. Air through evaporation. That's the way you want to remove alcohol. If you want to do that. But if you wanted to remove the alcohol out of wine and drink that, would it work, John? I believe it would work. It's expensive juice.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is like in New Zealand, it's a wine producing country, right? So you figure they would have grape juice.
Oh yeah.
You could find grape juice in New Zealand.
Okay.
I would think.
No, we do find grapes, like
But they've got grapes, yes, but it's hard to find organic grapes actually. But we do have grapes, and most of the grapes are actually without the seeds.
Yeah.
The grapes were the seeds they import from, I think, from California or somewhere.
I wouldn't worry about it for master fasting. Even though there's no seeds in the fruit, there is a seed. You cannot have a fruit growing without the seed. The seed contains the soul, even though we can't see it with the naked eye. There's a seed there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like they're kind of how do you want to put it? They're like in a state where they can't reproduce and so on and so forth. But there is seedless plants like bananas and stuff. There's many people who've shown in videos banana plants growing on their own in the middle of here and there and there, and it's done through other forms without the seed. Pineapples, they don't have seeds and so on and so forth. It's the thing, the ones that have been manipulated by man to be seedless, those fruits are not going to be as natural, let's put the word, because they've been manipulated through hybridization or whatever. But for master fasting's sake, we're cooking it, we're bringing it to higher order, and it works. We don't worry about that stuff.
Okay.
Whatever you can get, organic, non-organic, whatever you can get. If you're very fussy about organic, okay, well, buy organic. I don't use organic myself. I'm not going to spend that extra money. But many people want to do that, and that's fine. Because you know, when you're in a master fasting state specifically, your body's in elimination mode. It's not in a holding on obstruction mode. So even if there is chemicals, because probably there's nothing on this plant that doesn't have chemicals, even if there is chemicals within the juices, your body's not going to hold on to them as it would like when you're on eating days, you know, if you're eating, because it's two different states to be in: fasting state and eating state. One is holding on, the other is purging. That's the basic difference. So if you're continuously focusing on keeping the body mostly in an elimination state, guess what? The body will not be holding on to all the crap, even though we're consuming things. It has time to wash it out. And that's why we see the magic unfold. It's that basic understanding that we have. And that's all we need to know. We don't need to know all the who, what, where, when, why. It's just very basic stuff. It's simple.
What about raisins? Like, because raisins are dried in the sun and they're essentially cooked by the sun.
You can do it with raisins. You'd have to add water and cook them, and then use the juice, squeeze it out.
Yeah, but as a food too, like it seems like that would be a pretty ideal food.
Well, you know, dried fruits. People have eaten dried fruits and they get blocked up if you eat too much fruits. They're concentrated, so it's easy to overeat those things, right? Because they taste good. When you're eating things that are dehydrated, you have to remember what volume would you be eating if they were in a hydrated state, and stick to no more than that. But most people, you know, they eat way too much.
Just continue eating. Yes.
That's a good rule, because I tend to do that with dried fruit.
Yeah, so
Just
dried
chips.
fruits. Yeah, dried fruits are awesome, but don't go overdoing it. You know, small amounts, a little handful is more than enough of any dried fruit you're going to eat.
I think it's good to rehydrate them, right? You know, like
You
soak
can.
them in,
Yeah.
and then
How do you do that?
soak them in some water for a few hours.
Yeah, we like.
In water.
Yeah, we like to ozonate them. It completely improves the flavor and the taste of them.
In ozonated water. Wow.
You put them in cold ozonated water and ozonate them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Beautiful.
and then let them dry out, and they're awesome.
Mm.
Or you can stew them, like you can stew prunes, and I guess you could stew raisins too, right?
Prunes are already stewed, aren't they?
But like people eat them stewed.
With
you
the
cook,
prunes.
you take like 4 or 5 prunes and you stew them, and they get really soft.
Yeah, well, you know, we talk about doing that on the hybrid, right? You can do cooked fruit, or on eating days you can cook fruit. It's better to choose cooked fruit over cooked veggies. Much easier for the body to process that. You know, the obstructiveness of fruits is much less than vegetables generally over the whole picture. Vegetables are quite more obstructive than fruit. So we choose choosing the least obstructive is the wisest thing to do. It's not something that we're always going to do, and that's okay. As long as we are okay with the consequences and going through the experience, all is well.
Yeah, and Rogaya, one thing that it took me a long time to understand was that in the Master Fast, the eating days are still very, very light. Like what these guys say is an eating day, it's like it's extremely light food compared to, you know, normal meals.
What you normally have.
It's like a salad and like a tomato and a piece of cucumber and like maybe some quinoa or some millet or something. It's super light. And I've been eating heavy on my eating days, and it's definitely causing me some trouble to eat, you know, like I eat nut butters, and it's hard. It's pretty hard because it's kind of extreme. You're going from fasting to eating nut butter and bread,
Yeah.
and then going. So when they say eating days, don't be fooled. You know,
Fruit and salads, simple.
yeah,
Fruit and salad.
it's very light.
Mm.
When you say fruit salad, is it a cold fruit salad or warm?
I can't hear.
No.
If it's when you say fruit salad, is it cold fruit or do you warm it up or?
No, fruit and salads.
Oh, okay. Fruit and
Fruit, fresh, ripe, local if possible. That's how we choose our fruit, and then salad if you like. You know,
Not together though.
yeah, you always eat your fruit first. You wait about 20 minutes, half an hour, and then you go and eat your salad if you're still hungry, if that's what you want. Some people choose to stay in fruit. Most people will have fruit and a little bit of veggies, right? The salads. And then if you want to eat, if you're still hungry, you want to have more heavier, you go into the heavier veggies, like a baked beet or whatever, stuff like that. If you go into the millet and the quinoa, that's even heavier. It's not light, John. Those are heavy.
Well, I mean, like it's a light grain, but it
They're
just
not grains, they're seeds.
it took me a while to understand. Like when you guys said eating days, like it's still what I mean. Anyway, like it's very it still is assisting the cleanse, the types of food they eat on eating days. That's how.
Yeah, where you're eating things that are not going to block you up. If you want to be living a lifestyle that you're continuously de-obstructing, it's not going to happen when you start pounding back heavy things. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Continuously obstruct. I don't care how much fasting you do, you're going to continuously obstruct. So you need to find a balance where you're on the more so on the de-obstructing versus obstructing side. That's the key for the long-term sustainability and moving in the direction of balance. If we're continuously obstructing, we're going to continuously stay in an imbalanced state. And it's easier said than done for most of us, but it's going to be training. It's a training time to find that balance for yourself. Everybody's going to be different. Some people will be wonderful 2 days a week. Some people can do 3-4 days a week of MFS. Some people can only do 1 day a week. Everybody's different.
Yeah, I think a while ago, I think it was Steve said that like the way I was eating, you're just pushing it around. Like if you have one day on MFS, or if you're eating a lot of fruit, but then you eat heavy meals, you're kind of just pushing it around and it's not going anywhere. So it's kind of a waste of time to eat that way. So I'm really trying to do better on my eating days.
Yeah, that's what we suggest, John. We're all gonna, go a little bit heavier foods here and there, but no big deal. But if you're doing it regularly, you're gonna feel the consequences eventually. That's what I've found with myself. It's the obstructive foods, especially the fats, which are for me are on the top of the list of obstructiveness. Under that is protein, very close to that. But the fat for me is the highest obstructions, then proteins, and then all the other stuff follows below that. But milk has both, has the fat and protein. Some nuts too as well, right? The nut and the fat and proteins.
Nasty.
Yeah, they taste great, right?
Milk?
No, nuts, seeds, all heavy stuff.
Oh yeah, I love
Peanut butter. Who doesn't like peanut butter? I'll still have a taste here and there of some peanut butter, very small amounts, but it's if you start doing spoons of that stuff, boy, oh boy, you're gonna pay for it.
No, I've been doing that. It's not worth it. You might as well just not bother because
Just triggers, doesn't it?
It's the fat, I believe, is one of the most addictive substances.
Salt.
Salt as well. Sugar, artificial sugars.
Salty peanut butter is really good.
Yeah, fat and salt. Oh yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah, the salt. I'm losing taste for salt. Like I still have taste for fat, but like salt, I don't need. Like
peanut butter have salt in it?
Not that I get the unsalted.
Okay, that's good. But yeah, more. I think
more on a banana and then you salt peanut butter. It's really good.
I think more of us are addicted to salt than sugar.
Yeah, it's just tasteless if there's no salt.
Yeah, like once you let it go, your taste requirements for it will vanish because
it changes things.
Yeah, your taste buds will open up and you'll get way more flavor out of the simplest things. It just takes a little bit of time. If you keep adding salt, and then you're going to see that you need to add more and more because it's addictive. There's a price to pay for all these things that we do. It's depending on your choice. We can't. Say it again.
If I start using salt, my body just starts blowing up with water.
Hold on to water, big time.
Big time.
Oh yeah.
Usually by the next day.
Yeah, your body will hold on to fluid when you consume salt for sure. Once if you're doing it regularly, then your body gets used to that again because it's been dealing with it regularly, and so on and so forth. But once you're fasting, your body's senses are opened way up, and everything is going to your body's going to respond to everything you put in it, everything, because it prefers fields versus the matter state things. So when you put these matter state things back in, it's going to say, whoa, what are you doing? What are you doing? And, if you're okay with feeling like that all the time, you're going to continue. And most people are, right? It's all
well, the other thing I notice is like I've been on a pretty good regimen. Like I've been doing a lot of master fast days and a lot of fruit. And when you do go and you eat, say, salty food or something that you used to think was so delicious and that you needed so badly, then you start thinking, wait, does this really taste all that good to me?
Exactly.
And like you start really questioning what you're like, what's motivating you, what does it really taste like, how does it really make you feel?
Yeah.
And like, so you start stepping back and looking at what you're eating, and it's not like a bad thing. It's helpful because it gets easier. You can
When
identify like your stumbling blocks.
yeah, you start asking those questions, yeah, and then the answers start coming up, right? That's the perfect example, like what you just said. You know, um, you know, the eating, the it's the addictiveness, because we've been eating this stuff for so long. We're addicted to that sensations and flavors and so on and so forth. Once you're done eating, then your body has to deal with it, and then you start asking these questions. Or instead of asking after you've eaten, start asking the questions before you even eat, and
Yeah.
see if you want to go through that experience. And maybe you do, maybe you don't, because the choice is always yours.
And you smell it like before you eat it. You smell it. Like I eat this gluten-free cereal, and you know, I open the bag, and it's like a natural cereal. It's like organic grains, whatever. I open the bag and I swear it smelled like a chemistry set. It smelled like the New Jersey Turnpike. You know, I'm serious, because like I'm dead serious. Like in New Jersey, there's a town called Elizabeth, and it's where all the oil refineries are. And like we used to call it Stinkville when we were kids. And I swear, like this bag of cereal, when I opened it and the air released out of the bag, it smelled like chemicals.
Wow.
Like, and I was just like, what? Why am I going to eat this stuff? You know.
But you ate it anyway, right?
I did. I got into it. It doesn't taste. It doesn't taste that way, but it smelled that
I know
way.
exactly what you're talking about.
Like it tasted pretty normal, like cornflakes or something. You know,
Yeah. Well, grains are very addictive as well, right?
grains.
Oh yeah, generally grains.
Yeah, yeah. Because for me, like when I was a kid, comfort food for me was cereal. Like I could eat whatever my family was eating. I would just eat that, you know, as a token gesture. But then after dinner, I would put down like 3 or 4 bowls of cereal.
Me too. I've done that. Cookies and stuff. Oh man. My mother used to work at a cookie factory for a while. She used to bring these big boxes of cookies. I used to grab as many as I could with milk. Man,
Fat, sugar, salt.
did I pay for that? Detoxing all that stuff out? Oh yeah. Bronchitis twice. It was fun. Lots of fun.
Yeah, there's something about cold cereal for me that nothing replaces cold cereal.
What kind of milk do you use?
I use oat milk and I use almond milk, and it's really light. It's like unsweetened almond milk. It's very light. It's mostly
Yeah,
water.
almond milk is not light. It's all fat and protein from the seed.
Yeah, but there's
The
not much.
oat milk would probably be lighter.
What?
The oat milk would probably be lighter.
Yeah, the oat milk's sweet. I don't really like it. And then there's one I really like that's flax. It's flax with pea protein in it, and it's really good. It's really creamy, but it's made out of flax and pea protein.
There's all kinds of milks these days. My goodness.
Yeah.
So many different ones. You know, cheese is more addictive than heroin. That was one thing that took me a while to give up. Cheese.
That's why it's easy just to be vegan. Like going vegan is just so easy. It's like, okay, I'm vegan now, you know.
Not for everybody. There's many vegans who turned back to animal products
Mm.
because they couldn't find balance. I mean, the reason is because they didn't clean up. It's because they're looking for balance within the diets, and you're gonna find it. You're gonna get a certain point, you're gonna plateau, and then you're gonna go looking for more stimulants again. That's what I've seen in 31 years, just over and over and over again. We've seen master fasters do that. They go back to stimulants because they're trying to find that feeling that they had when they were on master fast. They're not gonna find it in food, and they go to heavier and heavier stimulants, and that's it is what it is. If you're, it's always choice is always yours, as we say. Whatever you want to do, choice is always yours. MFS is here when you're ready, right, Brittany?
Yeah, and then even if you stay vegan, you have so many options to eat heavy.
Oh, there's so much junk vegan food these days. It's incredible. So you can even just eat fruit. You're vegan, right? Just nothing but fruit.
Or you could just eat peanut butter.
Yeah, peanut butter, beer, and chips. That's vegan.
All vegan.
You know, there's a lot of wines that are not vegan that people don't know. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
They use eggshells and some gelatin
Yeah.
stuff in wines. So, there's actually wines that are vegan. There's not saying that all of them are not vegan, but you would have to find out through whoever's making the wine what they're using in there, because some people will be making and they have no concept of vegan, but they're vegan wines, and then some people will put it on the label because they know that there's a vegan market. So yeah,
Raise the price a little bit.
exactly. Oh, those vegans, we can pull an extra few bucks from them.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's just the way our world works. I just yesterday went to the Home Depot to buy 2x4s. They almost doubled in price in the last few weeks.
I was just going to say that. It's crazy.
I'm trying to remember what was the price of this. I don't remember it being $5. It was like $2.90 before. I go, what's going on?
Same here.
Yeah, go looking around, and everything's going up. So what does that mean? The value of our money is going tanking, right? Our value of our fiat currency.
Another currency, that's all.
That currency is going down. Has nothing to back it.
All your inflation is sitting in the stock market, ready to explode.
Boy.
What do you guys think of cryptocurrency?
It's a good
technology is good.
Yeah.
But it's no different than fiat. It's based on nothing.
Exactly. I think we need to back things with the energy of people, meaning an hour of work, which would be equal for everybody because nobody's better than anybody else. If something like that would be nice. And you base it a true currency, a true money on something like that. The only good thing I like about cryptos is there's no, they're decentralized.
That's what I mean by that.
No government control.
Yeah, it's like an agreement.
Yeah, anything the government has their hands on, they destroy it.
But it's still nothing. It's still nothing.
Yeah.
Basically, just like your dollar.
It's like anything else, whatever value we give it. Gold, there's no difference.
Not really.
Gold, if we give it value, otherwise it's just a mineral. It's mined like anything else. What value does it have? An hour of human energy is where I see value.
Absolutely. So
if we can, somehow do a crypto around that, that would be nice. And no lawyers making $400, $500, $600, $700, $800 an hour versus somebody making $10 an hour. What the hell's that?
That will change too.
It has to change. You can't keep going like this. Somebody has to wipe out their life savings to hire a lawyer. Well, first of all, don't hire a lawyer, because when you hire a lawyer, you know what they consider you as an imbecile, because you need a lawyer to interpret their fraudulent language, which is legalese. Looks like English, speaks like English, sounds like English, but has nothing to do with English. We won't go there, but anyway. Everybody should look into that stuff. And it's
What was that joke? When you saw 100 lawyers at the bottom of the ocean?
no, I
A
don't
good start.
Man. Yeah. What value does a lawyer or politician give to society, or a judge? I don't know. Banksters. They just take. They just take and consume and use.
Parasite.
Yeah, true parasite.
Hey, I have one question about where you actually stand on the 108 day fast, like because one time you challenged me to do a 108, and we were talking about my eyesight, and so, but then I think the official version is that you don't recommend the 108 anymore.
Why I challenge you, John, because you were going to see definite improvements in 108 days. We've seen many people that have improvements with 108 days and many different things. So, but the whole thing is that what's going to happen after the 108 days? If you're not able, if you're not able to stay, in line right now with clean eating, what are you going to do after 108 days? You're going to go wacko. More than likely. I'm not going to condemn you. More than likely, that's it's not on your side, is what we've seen. There's people that surprise us all the time, right? But generally, it's I've been talking about this is a lifestyle since the beginning, but nobody heard it. Nobody heard it, and yeah, and very few heard it. So to understand that we have to learn to make it a lifestyle is very challenging, very challenging. So that's what we're focusing on. Let's make it a lifestyle. Let's truly make it a lifestyle. Let's go do this for 6 months, a year, 1.5, 2 years, and then expand and go for a long 7 days to see the true power of master fasting is, because that's where you're going to see a lot of things happening, is when you go long digestive vacations. But going back to food is not fun after a long one. It's not fun. It's very emotionally challenging, first and foremost, and physically and mentally and everything. Physically, people go through much pain and suffering once they break it improperly, and so on and so forth. And why go through that when we can learn to master it a little bit at a time, and slowly expand it. Choice is yours. I am big proponent of the long digestive vacations, but I need to feel somebody's ready for it to some degree, and understand the full consequences of what happens afterwards. If somebody's willing to take that, go for it, but don't come back moaning and bitching and complaining. I don't want to hear
that was what I thought. I mean, that was what I thought, but you kind of just said it like as a half joke or
I believe everybody should experience to do 108 days at least once in their life, but it would be best for somebody to prepare for that. You know, mentally, physically, and through experiential, through smaller fasts. So they have a better understanding of, you know, what could happen, because, you know, as you know what you just shared, John, you know, you're doing these fasts and then you're breaking and you feel it, right? You can't even imagine what it's like after 108 days. You can't. You can only think that once you've experienced it, then you're going to see big what the difference is from experiencing and hearing about it. And like I said, there's the magic we've seen people doing, you know, even 40 days, 50, 60, 180. It's just incredible. Incredible what we've seen. The transformation, the metamorphosis that happens it's beautiful. It's amazing. And is why MFS grew so fast, because there's been nothing close to what has happened in that short of time anywhere out there in the detoxification world. That's been outdated and and obsolete. So, you know, you're ready? Go for it.
No, I'm not ready, but I'd just been thinking about it, like walking around, like, because I kind of took it when you challenged me, I kind of took it like as a joke, but a half joke.
It was a half joke and jest, but I honestly, that because you have this challenge with your eyes, you're going to see a big improvement in that time. How much? I don't know, but you're going to see improvements because we've seen so many, John. We've seen so many people with many similar things and many other things, right? Like, you know, the Latrice who just posted a few weeks ago, her whole bone structure straightening out, her whole skeleton.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
How does that happen? It happens.
The X-rays.
Yeah, you know, we that's not the first. We've seen many of those. Many. You know, if you go through all the testimonials and stuff.
Sarah grew 2 inches.
Yeah, Sarah, right here, she grew 2 inches. That's massive. Massive. 2 inches, man. Come on. People will notice 1 inch, 2 inches, you're going to notice. You're going to notice big time. There's another woman that grew 2 inches. I think probably Latrice, I bet you she's probably close to 2 inches, because when the spine's curved, you lose there. And then as the segments open up, you're going to gain there as well. So I'm sure she's probably, for sure, 1.5 inches at least. I asked her if she grew. She said yes, but I didn't ask how much. So it is what it is. Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Rana.
Hi.
Is Tatiana still on the long fast?
I am.
So now we all have eyes on Tatiana. What's going to happen?
Yeah.
I had to count back while I was sitting here. I counted I guess I'm on 65 days now. Today's 60.
We just, you know, just understand you've gone in that zone now where when you start eating, a lot of things are going to take place emotionally, big time, that you've never experienced before. You must be prepared and prepare yourself, you know, mentally, emotionally, and stay connected. No matter what happens, stay connected.
Yeah.
Seen one too many people just take off and go through misery. I get horrible messages, private messages of what they're going through. I go, why aren't you on the page? And then you don't hear from them anymore.
Yeah.
So this is not what master fasting's about. You go through a major transformation, metamorphosis, and then you go for hell again.
Yeah.
You're never going to forget the master fasting experience, I'll tell you that.
I bet. That's why people come back, right?
Yeah. Just, you know, the things that you've already experienced now. You know, how many things, you know, that you've experienced there. How's the tongue happening?
It's amazing. You know, it looks the same. But
Just tells us
I don't know.
lots of work
Yeah.
is going on still. Lots of work.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
108 days, we'll do a pretty good job cleaning up the GI tract, but it will never ever erase decades. It
Yeah.
takes years to clean the depths and the levels
Good night.
of the GI tract. And with that comes the rest of the physicality and then the mental emotional bodies. So that, all that, just thinking physical, all the sponge within our physicality, just think about cleaning a dirty, gunked up sponge, rinsing it over and over, how many times you have to do it before it comes out clean.
Yeah, yeah.
We're doing
Oh.
physically, but also emotionally, it's happening as well, in a different sense of the way, but similar.
Yeah.
So, we're all rooting for you, and
Thanks.
just be consciously very careful how you break the fast and
Yeah.
what you choose to eat. Don't expect to be feeling like you're feeling now when you eat even the best of the best fruits.
I bet.
It's going to take
Yeah.
you down a huge levels. It's going
I
to
know.
take you way down. And that's what is the problem, because that's what triggers us to go to stimulants when we break long fasts, because we want to get that feeling back. And then the emotions and everything starts taking over. And then we do make unwise decisions for, eating. And this, it's not fun. It's not fun. So, all is well, you
Yeah.
just be very careful, because once you break a long fast, there's places you don't want to go, with
I know.
heavy obstructive foods. It's and you start seeing your body blowing up like a balloon. It's not fun.
Yeah.
Not fun. So.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to go the full, and maybe still enjoy some of the food I'm growing while there's still a little bit of summer left.
Yeah.
So I thought, yeah, maybe transition this week, like.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
if you break it, whatever, 65, 70 days.
Yeah.
Just think, to break that fast, what happens? It takes
Twice.
at least 1 to 2 times,
Yeah.
for the body to process that once you start eating again. So a
Yeah.
lot of things are going to still be improving because of the fast, because we're in the slow motion realm. Remember, things take time to be manifested from the effects of all the fasting you've done. So embrace it all, allow it to unfold, and the cleaner you eat, the better the transition is going to be. If you have your own food, nothing better than that from your garden. That's best. So now would be a wise time.
Before it's gone.
Yeah, even though your tongue is still, will it clear up in 108 days?
Yeah, maybe not.
Maybe most of it may clear up, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, 108 days we've seen things that I never thought were possible in 108 days in all of these 5 years. We've seen that magic happen. So it just, as you strip the layers, you see more and more and more magic happening.
No, I understand.
It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is.
I understand. This is like decades, decades of this stuff. So
yeah,
don't expect it to clear up like 65 days.
But a lot does.
A lot does, which is amazing. I have so many realizations now that I'm experiencing.
Like you're sharing about your smell, your sense of smell, right?
Yeah. Well, like I could even smell pretty good, but like whole new parts of my face were exposed to oxygen. Like I could feel here, like that was incredible. And then you get used to good things so quickly, right? Now it's just like, oh, regular breathing. But I wrote about it, and it's like that's huge. And the breath is our first food. Like that's everything depends on that.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean what did you mean about your face?
Oh, I had like many years ago, I had a sinus infection, when I got pretty advanced. And then I was treated with antibiotics, and I feel like it never really cleared. So I had all kind of symptoms coming back all the time. So yeah, I felt like here was like getting oxygen when it was like blocked before, and here, yeah, I can breathe. Felt like I can breathe like that for like, I don't know, like a decade. Something.
Yeah, you know,
It's amazing.
If you picture the GI tract, you know how long it is. If you open it up, they say it's
Yeah.
like a tennis court, the surface area. It's
Yeah.
massive. You know, all the little villi and everything. So you plug all that up, and everything's within the whole body is all you know, related to the GI tract. So the whole sinus tract as well. Just imagine how much stuff can be built up into that. You know, it's to clean that all out, man.
Yeah.
Once you open the valve, it starts to drain. It's an amazing feeling, and you feel the difference happening as all that obstruction is moving out. The body starts repairing itself because it can't do it with obstructions. It's that simple. Move out the obstructions, and it happens.
Yeah.
It's
really, yeah. It's really like sinking in now that I'm feeling it.
Yeah, it's
like,
so simple.
I realize this is obvious probably for a lot of people on here, but here from a fresh perspective, someone just realizing it or like really feeling it now is like all the claimed benefits of sleep. You know, it's like so advertised. Get your 8 hours sleep. It's actually the benefits of dry fasting, and plus like being, you know, plugged back into source, like, right, like the spiritual side of it too. It's both of those things. So if people are living you know, fasting most of their waking hours, a lot of their waking hours, they're gonna feel all those same wonderful things of feeling rested, and they won't need as much. And also if they're, you know, they're connected, if they're you know, connected to source throughout more of their day. So I can 100% see why people, you know, just get by with a few hours. It's very clear.
Sure. But the more you go,
and then
you less sleep you need.
Yeah. And then also, you know, people talk about how they healed something with like going raw or going off fruit or doing juices. Like these juices healed me, and I realized none of those things healed them. It was just taking the digestive load off the body. So the fruit took off a digestive load, so that let their body do the healing. The juices had nothing to do with it, really. It's just that you stopped putting so much in. You lessen the digestive load, and you let the body, you let the soul do the work. You just got out of the way. Had nothing to do with what that wheatgrass juice had in it. Was it organic?
It's
you know, as long as it didn't have any out of the terrible stuff they spray on it. But
you start seeing through all the bull crap.
Yeah. Very interesting.
How simple it really is, right? You know,
Yeah.
we've all been there, done that. So it got us to where we are now. So which is for a purpose. But anyway,
yeah,
it's amazing. I just how much weight did you lose? What did you start with? What are you at now? Are you skin and bones? We can't really see
no,
you.
I'm people say I'm skinny, but I don't like. I still have some fat on me. Like I'm fine. I was I think like 50. I didn't measure right from the start. I could have been like maybe a little more, but 52 kilos when I measured. And now, like after, I don't know, and now I'm around 43, but it depends also, like, is it dry? Is it not dry? How much did I drink?
What's your height?
163 centimeters.
163.
Yeah. But that was on, you know, like a day that I drank very little, like probably a full, like drinking maybe 45 kilos or something. But yeah, definitely there's still fat on me. Been fine. Feel good. I just think, you know, like the standards now are totally changed. Like, you know, I look more like, I don't know, like feel like, you know, when you look at kids, I always thought like I always thought how, you know, kids look so balanced. Like there's no like blocks in their bodies. They're like, the weight is even. They're not like hunching anywhere. Nothing. No, like, you know, no. Kind of, they're not like trying to make up for some pain somewhere. They're just like balanced because energy is flowing through them. As we go through life, maybe we block those things and then it kind of flows less. So I feel like I'm moving towards that. I feel like I'm moving towards my like child state. It feels nice. Yeah. I think I made one mistake, and I did that. I took the licorice candy. And I thought it was just like candy. I didn't realize the dosage.
They're strong.
Yeah, they're really strong. I think I took quite a few, so maybe they could have also inflamed my tongue a little bit too, or kidneys.
They're super concentrated, especially the Italian ones.
Yeah.
They're super concentrated licorice. You don't need much of it.
Yeah, I hope I didn't mess too much up with that. But whatever will undo. No more for me for a long time.
I don't think it'll.
It was a few days.
Yeah, but if you take too much licorice, what you may see happen is your blood pressure is going to go up.
Mm-hmm.
It will boost blood pressure. So anybody who's got high blood pressure, they should not be using licorice a lot. They can do it once in a while, but I wouldn't be using it regularly because it will boost your blood pressure. And that's why fine. It's one of the tools we use because a lot of people have low blood pressure. High blood pressure is actually low blood pressure. It's just a plugged up system. If you think about a filter when it's plugged up, you need to put more pressure through it to get volume. And that's why the blood pressure goes up. So the kidneys are all plugged up, kidneys and adrenals, and blood pressure shoots up. So once you open up the sieves and clean out the filters, and blood pressure goes low. So then you need to work on continuously cleaning on those kidneys and adrenals, which will balance out the blood pressure and the thyroid and so on and so forth. But all the technicality stuff is all irrelevant because the soul does it in autopilot. We don't need to know any of that stuff anymore. It's too simple for people. Too simple. Well, you know, when people start talking to me in the old ways about this is affecting that, and you need to clean this, and you need to do that, I kind of get lost because I kind of wiped it out of myself. I don't want to look at that stuff anymore because it didn't get me anywhere. It didn't help me one bit knowing any of that stuff in all these years. Less is more. Less knowledge is more.
Yeah. I was, before I found MFS, like months before, I was looking into naturopathy, like reading a lot on it. And I was just thinking like how, and I went to see a naturopath and it's like it helped something, but then it created other problems. Because I was taking too much. It's again addition. It's just a different chemical, but it's again addition. It was too much, and I think that stressed the kidneys. But yeah, you know, I was thinking like how can you know what exactly that chemical you need to add? The body is so intelligent. You think our mind can like figure? Oh yeah, that chemical. That's what you need. I'm like, no way I can. Like, cannot be it. I kept searching.
Yeah, see those questions that you're asking exactly. When you keep asking yourself these questions, and you're going to see through it. And you go, there's no way, man. These everybody understands exactly the body needs this, and the other thing. Yeah, okay.
There's emotions involved. So much.
Yeah. Infinite, and that's where the fallacy of science lies. The naturopathy, it's the same thing. Treatment-based thinking.
Yeah.
They've gone to more natural things, but still treatment-based thinking. Well, do they help people? Of course they help.
Sometimes it's needed. It's
so
needed.
does mainstream medicine help people? Somebody gets in a car wreck and bang, they're out.
They have a place.
They help. Everybody has a purpose, and everybody needs to go through a certain experience. But you want to see magic? get on a master fasting lifestyle.
Yeah, yeah, really seeing it. It's wild because it's so backwards from
Yeah.
what everyone believes, and I just have to like like pinch myself, like, am I really going to in this understanding? Because yeah, so contrary. Experiences, I guess, observations. It's fascinating to me. It's the most amazing thing. It's like we're watching creation happen. We're allowing it to happen. That's just the most magical, beautiful thing you could like nourish and observe and experience here. Yeah, I think I would like to, when I transition back, like do the first week like level 6 or 7, then down to my like 5-4, something like that. But I'm honestly not really looking forward to eating, but I know I don't want to
Yeah,
go too long. I don't want to go too long.
When you go more than a couple days a week, it's going to be hard on you. Of food.
Yeah, I'm not going to want to. What do you think of tomatoes, Gino, like early on?
They're
Or
great.
too acidic? Good?
Don't buy in that stuff.
Okay.
Don't buy into chemistry.
No.
Yeah, they look nice, you know? You grill them yourself, they're nice.
Pick
When
out.
I can them, I have to add acid to them. That's how acidic they are.
Yeah.
They have to add lemon juice. You have to add lemon juice if you can. Or it's not safe because they're low acid.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's. I used to believe in all that stuff, the chemistry, and yeah. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. You know, when I did my first 7 days of MFS, I broke it with watermelon. It felt really weird. It gave me hiccups for a long time. But it seems like a good thing because it's just basically water. So I'll see how I feel.
It's by far much more than just water.
Definitely, but like if you try to juice it, there's really hardly anything that remains, like any fiber.
A lot of liquid.
Liquid, I should say. Yeah, liquid.
I wouldn't call it water.
Yeah.
It's got loads of information in that liquid.
It does. Yeah.
That we don't comprehend. We can't comprehend, possibly comprehend. But you know, he was talking about tomatoes. Somebody who's obstructed eating a tomato versus somebody who's just master fast eating tomato. Absolutely, completely two different experiences.
Yeah, I bet.
You can't compare.
I'll put some salt on it. No way. Never.
You don't need to. Like the first after a long fast, it doesn't matter whatever I've tried. The first bites were like, what did I eat for?
Disappointment.
I know.
Like there was no amazing flavor or anything that came out. Once you continue to eat, then everything starts coming back and you get more and more addicted to the flavors. So just allow the experience and maybe, you know, keep yourself a little diary of what's going on or a recording, and so you can go back and see yourself going through that experience, because it's really interesting when you break a fast. A long one of what goes through the mind and so on and so forth, and how you react to it and what's going through your mind. It's interesting. Everybody's going to go differently. You know, some people say, you know, the first bite's the most amazing thing they've ever tasted. But I never had that. You know, I've had that after pigging out for a week and then eating something else. Until I have to swallow. Once I swallowed it, it was over. The sensation's gone. Then you have to deal with the physicality of it. But eating's wonderful. It's amazing. We love it. We experience the socializing. The whole experience around eating is amazing. You know, bringing families together and friends and so on and so forth. Yeah. That's the beauty about eating. The social part of it.
Yeah.
The actual act of eating itself. Like myself, people see me eat, they get scared because I eat pretty quick, but I used to eat way faster. It's hard for people to imagine. I didn't chew. I would just swallow things, right? Picking out. So there was a grade 9, was it? They picked me to do a spaghetti eating contest, right? You know, who could eat faster from the class. I go, no. Anyway, that I remember back then. I didn't eat all day. I go, I'm gonna pick up.
So fun.
We had, you know, a person from every class, and the lady comes, you know, bringing the pasta. Here comes my plate. I'm looking at my plate, looking at everybody else's plate. I swear mine must have been 50% more. And then after people told me, goes, how come yours was way more? Anyway, I came in second with 50% more.
Well, that's why you had to go show us the way of less is more.
Well, you know, I really, really enjoy eating, but I eat differently than other people.
Yeah. You know, I realize now, you know, like our moms, grandmas that love to cook and feed us, you know, it's so much more about the love they're giving. And it doesn't necessarily have to be experienced in that.
Right. The motherly
physical
love comes
food.
through the food, right? Usually it's the mother traditionally that cooks and so on, prepares. And
Yeah.
that's what we really looking for, which is the plaf, which is the plasma love always.
Yeah. That's why you love it so much. Just
Right. And
do it.
what do we think about the most? The food you grew up on, especially if your mother was an amazing cook, but that's what most people, you know, are addicted to, that sensation. But it's not the physical. It's the love that came through the food.
100%. Yeah. It's very clear.
There's like nobody can you know, cook like my mom, you know.
Mm.
Well, her sisters are darn good too, but you know what I mean. It's that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the plaf, the feeling of the plaf, which is beyond anything physical that we're going to be able to sense.
Yeah, but we can also accept that love, not necessarily the food, you know.
Yeah, we can just through the odor and through the senses of being there and experiencing the preparedness that goes into it, we can be fed on that if we allow it, and we don't have to consume anything. How many women mothers that shared during the long MFSs that they were preparing food for their families, and the families commented on how much better the food was that they were preparing, that they weren't eating. They were preparing for the family. Many women mentioned
More plaf
in the past 5 years, because what do? They tapped into the plaf when they were preparing the food. They're not tasting nothing. They're tapping into the plaf, and it works out way better than using your physical senses. That's the difference. You can't compare the plaf, the fields, versus the material stuff. You can't. It's not. There's no comparison. One travels at many millions of times the speed of light, if you want. And the matter state, you know, we're limited, right? We're limited in so many things in this realm. There's limits.
Yeah, but you guys are touching on something really important, because if you say, I mean, I agree. It's like you associate your early years growing up in a home with your mother's cooking, or if your father cooks, whoever's cooking, you associate that with love, right?
Right.
Like our whole, you know, and then you look at Professor Arrett, and he says that human history is a tragedy of nutrition.
Exactly.
Right. So, but the thing is, and like now we have COVID, and we have the sad diet, and people waiting around for the vaccine, you know, while they're waiting for their ice, you know, at the ice cream store to get in line at the ice cream store. But it's like the whole thing. If you see, you know, growing up in the home and how important food is, like especially if you're Italian, you know, or I'm joking, but like, you know, like any cultural environment, like, it's so important that now we're just kind of, let's face it, we're just in this paradigm where you know, unlearning that or changing that, you know, it's a huge. So I think that's really interesting what you said about relating Plath to the family love, the love that goes through cooking. And, you know, I mean, that's heavy stuff you're talking about. You
That's
know,
what Masterclass is about. The Plath.
yeah. Yeah, but you're saying what it says is that the implication is that you have to go through this entire transformation in order to get to your true emotional self and your true essence, right? And I agree with that, and I'm attracted to that. But you're also looking at people and societies who are their emotional life is food, is that love. It is that love, and it is that environment around food and the kitchen.
I wouldn't say that like it's a destination, John, like to get to. It's a continual evolution of us expanding and connecting back to where we came from, which is the light. And it's I don't think there's ever a destination. It's just a continual journey of experiences and coming to know creation itself, creator. I don't know, a destination. I don't think we're ever going to get somewhere in this plane. It's continual, and that's the fallacy of what we see with many tens of thousands of people that are looking for. They're looking for somewhere to go, a destination to get. And 108 days is going to fix all their problems, you know. No. And then you see the tragedy of after that. They go back to nutrition. Tragedy of nutrition. Tragedy of nutrition is because what's mainly understood now about nutrition? There's not enough nutrition in the food today. We need more and more, and this and that and the other thing. Doesn't work. Does not work.
You know, I know. I'm just saying that like this we understand. I agree with that, with like how you guys are going about it. But I thought it was really interesting when you were talking about Plath related to
the Plath.
Familial love.
We can be fed through the Plath exclusively, and we are. We just don't pay attention to it. If we paid attention to it, then you would see that you wouldn't need to do the physical eating. If we really paid attention to it and questioned these things as we're experiencing these things. For example, you go to your mother's house and she's preparing meal for the family and you're just there for the experience of what's going on. And then you ask yourself, are you really, truly hungry? Instead of, you have to pay attention, because if you say yes, it's more than likely you are, it's just the addictions coming through that are stronger than your senses of what's really going on with the Plath. That's the way I see it. And it's not that I'm telling you to not enjoy that, but if you separate at one time and look and see at yourself that you're satiated through just the Plath, then you're going to say, holy geez, there is something to this. And we've seen that, with people master fasting. They're not eating physical foods. I was sharing about the mothers who were complimented, and each one of them said they felt amazing preparing the food for their family when they were master fasting, because they were being fed as well, because they're giving
Yeah.
In the giving, you receive many times more. So, you know, this is the stuff that, you know, we should, it's amazing that we continuously touch on this stuff, because this is where we want to all come to this new understanding and experience more and more of this stuff. The food stuff, we're all experts, right? All of us, we're all experts eating. How much more we want to talk about? And what do you see the most popular, you know, Facebook pages and whatever? It's food pages. There's tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of members. People with YouTube videos watching people eating. There's millions of views watching people eating. Okay, so
Well, it's like
what's missing in people that are watching those? What's missing? There's something missing, right? That they're not getting, and they're getting it from watching these people eat.
yeah, there's like the element of participation, like, because I think of, like, you know, like Dionysian, like the Dionysian cults, right, in like ancient times, where people would just have orgies and they would have feasts, and, like, you know, it's like an element of participation too. It's not, it's like, it's so deep. It's so deep that like you can't undermine that.
Yeah, like the Romans, they used to have vomitories, right? They'd be pigging out feast, go puke it out, and start again.
Oh, I didn't know that detail. Interesting.
For, you know, hours or days. The vomitories. Yeah, go look it up.
Yeah, vomitorium. Vomitorium.
Wow.
So they can party longer and then re-experience the whole eating thing, because it has nothing to do with when it goes into the body. It's all here, the experience, the smell, taste, touch, chewing. As soon as it's swallowed, you have to deal with the hardest part. So puke it out and re-experience the most pleasurable part.
Well, yeah, but it was only, originally it was only intended to be maybe once a year that you would go through that.
Well, that's
but then what happened is that
parties, right?
yeah, because eventually, like, those celebrations, feasting, you know, back in traditional cultures, you had feast days, and then like now it's just more like like every day is a feast day.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
exactly.
Like three meals you're feasting all the time.
Yeah, like, you know, in the era when everybody had their own land and, you know, live off the land, right? I don't think people were feasting like that.
No.
Especially, you know, they have to go through winters and stuff, tough winters. You know, they probably eating small amounts of food just to sustain themselves, and generally they were, you know, probably healthier. You know, we have the sickest societies right now, health-wise. Everybody's wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a person smoking with that mask on.
Oh man.
It's like
They took it down to smoke.
He's getting extra filter through the mask.
No, like they put it on their chin. It's just odd. I mean, to each his own. But
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sad. That's so sad.
Yeah, it's.
when you're addicted, you're addicted. You have to.
It's you know, this whole thing about, you know, why do we do what we do, and if we keep raising these questions, and then we're going to see the most challenging times we have in our life, most people will reach for what? Food, emotional.
Yeah.
We went to the Helsinger family constellation thing, and holy man, I was dry fasting that day. It was a whole day. It was an event, and the emotions that come through on the break, everybody went cuckoo for food. I was paying attention. It was just going nuts because of how much emotions were in the room for all those hours. And the woman teaching, and she's overweight. I spoke to her. She goes, I gotta eat. I can't handle all these emotions, because I was telling her what I was doing, right? And yeah, we numb ourselves up with the food. It helps deal with the emotional pain. Numbing, putting the body through physical pain helps numb the emotional pain. That's the thinking and what we do, but it doesn't really happen that way.
So the word comfort food, right? Like,
yeah. So eating is a weird thing. Like every time I eat, I have weird questions coming through me. You know? Like I said, I enjoy eating, but the feeling of fasting, there's no diets that I've ever tried that even come remotely close, and I've went through many different things. So yeah, fruit is wonderful. It's amazing. It doesn't cut it to a fasting lifestyle.
yeah.
We've had several fruit eaters. They're just as plugged up that were many years fruitarian. Just
This is eating big volumes a lot, right?
So they're not going to be as plugged up as somebody else because fruit is least obstructive, but still, the fruit eating doesn't clean out that gunk. It'll only do it up to a point. It's very interesting. Like I said, in these last 5 years, Master Fast has revealed a lot through the people doing it, a lot. And if you have eyes to see, ears to hear, and a heart to feel, you know what's going on. It's simple. You don't need me explaining it. It's all there in plain sight. It's very simple. It's laid all out for us. And we don't have to know who, what, where, when, why. We just have to see what happens and how the physicality changes. Goes back to blueprint. All by itself.
Very interesting.
So Gina,
Gina?
how much do you sleep, like just generally speaking, like every night, like when you're in a deep sleep, like?
When I'm eating, I'm getting around 7 is average.
Oh wow, okay, so it's pretty normal.
When I'm eating. When I'm fasting, it goes down to anywhere from 3 to 5.
Yep, about 4 right now.
Yeah, so
Try like dry fastings.
yeah, sometimes you're fasting, and you're moving a lot of stuff, and you'll actually, for a couple nights or so, you'll get more sleep, maybe 8 hours, and that's okay. Allow it, because the body's doing a lot of work. You're in a dry fasting state when you're sleeping, right? So just let it happen. And sometimes you'll have nights where you're only a few hours, 2-3 hours, and then during the day you feel like you need to nap, even if it's for 10-15 minutes. Take the nap, because the body needs to do work, and that's why it's nothing to do with your weaknesses. You're starving and all that crap. The body is doing a lot of work, and it's using a lot of energy. So take it out, half an hour, whatever. Take those naps, and that's I allow that to happen as much as I can, if I can. I know sometimes you're at work, this, that, the other thing I have to do. We do the best we can in the situations we're in, but I'm just saying, pay attention and understand that the body has more intelligence than all the PhDs on this planet put together. So if it's telling you something in a fasting state, not an eating state, listen to it. In an eating state, it's confused, it's plugged up, it doesn't know what's going on. The only thing it can tell you is it's full, and that's it. And we continue to eat sometimes, even though it tells us it's full. So the true reading of the body is when the GI tract is cleaned out, pretty good cleaned out, you're going to get true signals. when you're plugged up, you're not going to get true signals. You know, I've seen people fasting 2-3 weeks. Oh, my body told I have to break my fast. Okay, break your fast. They're just not ready to face the mirrors. Has nothing to do with the body told them to break the fast. That's not my understanding.
So, see, the thing about, like, if you're only getting, like, say, during a fasting state, if you're like doing three hours a night, it's like a big problem for me. Like, talk about emotion. Like, the big problem for me is, what the hell am I going to do for 20 hours awake?
Exactly.
And like, you just sit there, you can meditate, you can chant your lungs out, and you can clean up your room, you can do your dirty laundry. It's like, what do you do, you know?
This is the challenge of people living the lifestyle less is more. We're not used to doing this, and nobody else is doing that. So you are going to be stuck all by yourself to figure out what you're going to do with all that extra time, right? Extra hobbies, extra reading, extra meditating, whatever. I'm just saying it is a challenge because we're not living in a society that does this generally.
There's so many interesting things to do.
I sleep a lot. Like, I sleep a lot, whether I'm on a fasting day or not. Like, I just tend to sleep a lot. And part of it is just because I don't want to be awake that long. You know?
Makes sense.
I'd rather just be sleeping.
Yeah, well,
it's a yogic state. Like, people say too much sleep is a bad thing, but like the yogis say it's like the highest form of yoga is like sleep.
Yeah, because I think you're connected, you're plugged back into source fully.
Yeah, well, you can do that in a meditative state.
Yeah, I guess that's the ideal would be to learn how to meditate that well. You know,
find a hobby that you enjoy and love, and you know, when you're doing these things that you love, time flies by. Like sometimes I'm 4, 5, 6 hours straight in the computer, and I'm going, where did this time go? Like, you know, being on the page and so on and so forth. It's just like, it's just gone. It is just, you know, if you don't like what you're doing, you're gonna want to sleep.
Yeah, good call. It's like, so you're on the page that much, like you're really participating on the page.
It's less now because we're doing work in the basement, and before when I started when I started the page, I was on the computer up to 16, sometimes up to 18 hours straight to get the information and answer the questions. It was that much work involved, and I did that for a few years.
What do you mean, get the information?
Well, there was a lot of people asking questions.
And,
I bet.
The protocol was not written out, you know, simply as Rana cleaned it all up. A lot of people were not clear on what exactly to do and stuff. And there's just a lot of questions and a million things about people trying to debate me about the cooked juice and this and that and the other thing. And I fell into the trap and wasted all my time, and they consumed me until I said, okay, how are we going to fix all this up? You know, Rana spent a lot of time putting the protocol the way it is now. Very structured, simple, detailed. And when somebody reads it, you don't need anything else, really. It's all there right now. It's all there. All the information is clear, simple, very little confusion now. So I don't have to answer all those questions. We have the frequently asked questions. We've answered so many questions on the page. You just have to do a search. A lot of them there. People are using that page a lot, like a Wikipedia, instead of physically asking us the questions. They're using using the search.
Yeah, now
So like, so does it have a good? It's got a good search algorithm on it. Like you can
Oh,
like
it's
just put
amazing.
It's
keywords.
it doesn't work perfect, but it works.
It's like keywords.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not perfect. Sometimes I can't find things that I found before. It's just, but it works. You search any question you're looking for, pretty much you're gonna find it. And like I said, there's not much that has not been asked. It's like I'm happy when I get a question that has not been asked before, because there's been quite a bit of asked in 5 years. People fasting, tens of thousands of people. You can imagine how much information there is, but it's mostly all very similar, questions, and
yeah, the answers are very similar too.
and believe it or not,
Yeah.
most of the stuff that's been asked, I've experienced. It's hard to believe, but yeah, I have an answer for it. If I don't have an answer, if I haven't experienced, I usually cannot answer, and there's not much that has gone that route. So, like I said, it's went from a lot of work to much less work, and because we've structured it that way to make it easy, friendly, easier and friendlier for people to not have to.
Like I did my best whenever I saw a question that was asked over and over and over to write on a frequently asked question page, and then each question was a link. So instead of having to type a whole long answer, we just copy and paste the link, and the person gets their answer. So yeah, I mean there are a few. Of course, there are more as we keep going. It used to be, it used to be more questions, but as we go, I'm sure there are new questions that come up, and they come up over and over and over. So there's always room to add more questions to the FAQs. You just have to be up with it. You have to be on top of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's basically what's happened. I was back then. When at the beginning, I wasn't taking care of my mother and stuff, and I was doing a lot more fasting than I am now. It was a breeze to do it. Those hours flew by.
And now
I
people.
bet you're on a high.
Oh yeah.
Now people help each other as well.
Yeah.
Like for example, once they experience, then they understand what master fast is about. And somebody like, for example, like you, Tatiana, you can answer people's questions now, on the page, because you have some experience, and their questions are basic that you can answer them because you have experienced it, so it's easy for you. Like for example, talking about sleep, right? Someone asking about sleep, you can easily say share your experience, and it's very, very valid. And I like, you are very observant. I am very observant too. And you can see where things can use some, attention. Like you can make conclusions in your head. Like for example, I love what you mentioned about the dry fasting. That when we sleep, it's basically healing because it's dry fasting, right? Yeah, that's a beautiful observation for sure, and it is 100%. Yeah, your body needs to rest when we're eating.
More.
And how do we rest? The ultimate way to rest is to dry fast, of course, right? Yeah. And that's why when we fast, we don't need to rest as much because we're resting all day, almost, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're dry fasting, you're even resting more during the day,
Yeah.
We see so many different groups out there, and people have taken master fast information out there, which we're not happy about, but that's what's happening. People are going to do what they're going to do. They're not sticking to the ethos and correct conduct of what master fast is. And we've given this information to people to empower themselves not to send it out
Separate.
there and separate
Yeah,
and
it's
corrupt
the
it.
separation, you know.
But
We
it
love,
is what it is.
yeah, it's nice to keep the community helping each other rather than separating, you know. Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Yes.
That, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know, this is life.
You know, we have information here that has changed the whole detox world like nothing else, and you know, it's not enough for some people, right?
And
Well,
yeah,
you're gonna experience some, like with something like this, you're gonna experience the word that just came up to me is like martyrdom, like you know, because you know something, people are definitely interested, some people are genuinely interested, and you're gonna get some redundancy and some tedious aspects of being a teacher. So, you know, you just have to take some of that martyr stuff. You know what?
It's not easy going into the social media thing. Like there's people who have psychological challenges when they start growing their groups and stuff or whatever. And I've heard many stories. Some people have to leave because they just can't handle it.
Yeah.
I think people think it's easy when you're dealing with thousands and thousands of emotions, whether you're physical or not. It's that the emotions are coming to us all the time, whether they're on the page or not. As soon as the name is mentioned, those emotions are coming through because the information came through me. So we have to learn to deal with all that. It's what was the word I'm looking for? It's a high price that I chose to pay to allow people to have access to this information.
yeah, like there's so much bashing and disrespect that is absolutely unnecessary, especially in a fasting spiritual community where we're all trying to come closer to God, you know, and peace, balance, and correct conduct.
The one story.
There's yeah.
The one story that I hear of somebody changing their lives makes it all worth it. One story. And that's why I'm still here, 5 years doing this. Still doing it. Even with taking care of my mother and my time's limited, I'm still dedicated many hours a day to helping people as much as I possibly can. Because what else are we gonna do? You wanna continue wearing masks? I ain't supporting that. No freaking way, not me. I'm gonna continue doing this until I'm allowed to do it. I'm gonna continue. It's you know, like I said, we don't have all the answers with John. We've seen so much beautiful, amazing things happen with people.
No, you're very strong. So like, I think it's awesome. But it was funny because like the word martyr came up because you're gonna.
Yeah.
And like social media, like you're really like, I don't like social media myself. I barely use Facebook, but like social media, you're really going out on a limb, you know, to use social media because you're just.
It was the best way that to get to a lot of people. Very simply, one-on-one. How many can you help?
The collective, everyone contributing their experience is all so much stronger together with everyone's experience.
Yeah.
I use the search a lot, and it works so well.
Like
all of my questions have been answered.
Like you know, having you guys here, it's such a comfort to have people show up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it works both ways. You know, it hasn't been easy sometimes, John. It's been very challenging sometimes with some stuff that's happened with us. We've made mistakes and so on because we don't understand this whole social media thing. Oh, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's vicious. It's like a vicious environment.
Yeah.
People are so mean and they're such cowards because they're hiding behind their computer screens and they're cowards.
And then the criticism of how we run the group. I mean, you can always
People
give us
can
a
think they can do it better. Go for
like,
it. Yeah.
like you can always give us a constructive feedback, you know.
Somebody in Germany just posted the whole protocol. Did you know that?
Where? No.
On Facebook. Just this couple of days ago. Posted the whole protocol.
Another group?
I don't know who he's associated with.
But is it a group or is it
I
a?
think it's a group. Some folks used to be here.
Yep.
It's sad because Gino, you put yourself through so much, 30 years. Like I think about so much pain to figure that out, to make it a little easier for us. Like
Yeah.
that's
It's 40.
I always so much respect to you.
Thanks. $45 is too much for some people, right? Meanwhile, they're paying more than that every month for their internet or whatever. The thieves. What are we? We're all.
We have put a lot of people on notice, and we have had trouble with actually people in Germany, especially.
Yeah, because
We had trouble with that. I mean, a couple of people.
Yeah, we've shut down
we have
a couple of websites.
who have come out to us.
But is it worth the effort?
Massive Fest members.
Thieves are going to be thieves. It's the way it is.
You know, we knew through Massive.
well, I challenged him and I challenged him. He freaking blocked me. He blocked me immediately. As soon as I challenged him, he blocked me.
Good job, Steve.
Yeah, I was proud of that. Really, believe me.
Say it's copyrighted.
Yeah.
Let us know when, please let us know when you find out something like that, so we can.
His name is Harmon Luck.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's yeah. He posted the protocol.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then and then they bashed everybody here.
Of course.
So I took exception to it. So I don't know why he sent me a friend request, so I accepted it, and then I start seeing all this shit, and it's like.
Oh, Harmon Luck.
Yeah.
Well, we.
So I didn't stay there long. I wasn't allowed.
Yeah. We did report him once to Facebook, and he got blocked, and he didn't like it. So what he did is he went after me actually.
Really?
Put a review for my colonic place on Google, and it was the absolute most horrific thing you can ever read about a colonic place. He's never been.
Sorry, Rana.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I actually found out from one of my clients. She's like, "Did you read this review?" Like it was maybe 3 days there. Yeah, maybe I'm giving too much information, but it was horrible. That
I bet.
Call a spade a spade.
yeah.
Oh, I did.
I had to contact Google, and it took a few, I don't know, weeks maybe to remove it. But
So they put up like a fictitious review of your colonic place.
yeah, Google doesn't care. Anybody can review anybody.
Okay.
Yeah, anybody can write a review.
From a different country, never been here.
From Germany.
He's from Belgium, I believe.
He wanted to hurt.
No, he's a freaking American.
American.
He is. He moved over there.
I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, so I don't know why. I mean, his Facebook post that we reported was like, what is it? That basically we shouldn't be charging for the protocol, and it is time for them or whatever for him to. We had the protocol long enough with us and our power, and now it's time to share it with the humanity. We don't deserve it. Something like this. And so it's pretty harsh, you know, and
His justification was if it's on the internet, it's not private no longer.
it's very interesting, and many people actually liked it, and even members from the Masterfest who are, you know, active in our group. It's just, I mean, we see quite a bit of stuff, you know, and people that you talk to regularly and you're friends with on Facebook who are supporting something, you know, against like somebody would bash Master Fast, would say something negative about it. Like the stuff that we went through. Anyways, I can complain, but it's not necessary, right?
Most people have no clue about copyright trademark laws. But that's not what it's there for. It's for people like that.
Or comment, like making fun of my looks. I mean, come on, what does my looks have to do with the Master Fast? You know, it was really interesting. One time there was
your looks.
that was deleted eventually because actually we had more support than it's not our group, and we were not. I mean, actually, I was part of the group, I think, and Gina wasn't even there. But somebody gave us the link, and yeah, they were bashing the Master Fast, but then I think we got more support than bashing, and I was actually happy. So at the end, I said, "Thank you, everybody."
Oh yeah, there were some other folks that were taking exception to what he was doing.
Yeah, and so I was very actually happy with that, and I said, "Thank you so much for all your support, everybody." And then the next day it was deleted. I guess he didn't like the fact that I was happy.
Yeah, send me the information, Steve,
But anyways,
of the group. And,
So, Steve, how were you just doing a search when you came upon that? Or how did you find that?
I don't recall how I got to it. There's
so much shit on the internet.
just there were some other folks that used to be here.
used to be here, you mean?
I don't even know what they call themselves. Ah, shit. Now I'm blocked, so I can't. I mean, I'm totally blocked. I can't approach it.
Anyway, no big deal. Everything takes care of itself in higher order.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason we would want to know who is because so we can contact them and hopefully they can get down the protocol because it's not fair. And that's it.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
He told me I had no right to do what he did. And he questioned it. I said, "You're helping yourself to a man's work." And as soon as I said that, I was blocked.
Yeah.
I said a few other things, but
Yeah. Well,
I don't have much tact when I come across that kind of shit.
Yeah, it's.
We do our best to be as.
There's a short list of people.
We want to do also our best to be as like whatever respectful as possible, even when it's just too much. I mean, yeah, we have seen so much bashing for Master Fast and against Master Fast, and we were not even like talking there. You know, we were not commenting for and against. Both are actually very negative. Both are very negative. And you're like, okay, like this is a little bit too much negative emotions here from both sides who are involved in.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and
I've seen a lot. I've seen quite a bit over the time I've been here. It's like,
yeah,
what the hell are your problem? Or what's your problem?
yeah.
So I see it. If you want to experience it, you're free to experience it. If you don't want to, you're free not to. You guys don't, you only support people who want to. You don't force people at all. You just offered information, and we're here to support each other if you choose to do that.
Yeah, everybody's got courage behind a computer screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Or they always usually have an agenda.
All is well.
Yes, it is.
I just want to say I love the way that you guys maintain the group. It's like I love going on the page. Always dose of fluff. All your posts and what everyone shares. It's a beautiful, beautiful page. Thank you.
So sweet. Thank you so much. It is really, there's no solution other than us being the change we want to see. And if we don't see a positive change, it's because we still have work to do on ourselves, you know. You know, seriously, this is how I see it. There is so much work for me to do on myself, you know. And I was saying today, before we change the system, let's change us, you know. We're all complaining about the system, especially now more than ever. Let's change us so we can change the system. The system is run by us anyways, and we are really not balanced enough to have a balanced system. So yeah, I mean,
We've
it's a lot
allowed
of work.
what's happening now to happen.
We have.
Yeah, we have allowed it, absolutely. Yeah.
No amount of fasting is going to help unless you choose peace, balance, correct conduct.
And starting with us.
That's the start.
Mm-hmm.
So, are we going to be perfect at it? No, because we haven't been trained for that stuff. So we have to work at it and do the best we can and move in that direction. But, we're in this mess because humanity has not chosen that path. Not correct. You've convinced me of anything else because I don't see it.
I used to think, you know, the powerful people should be the ones to help first.
No way. They will never, ever, ever go quietly.
But you know, but I don't think so anymore. Yeah, I don't think so anymore. Like for example, you know, my parents are Palestinians, and you see Israel and Palestine, right? Palestine is the original country, and Israel took over. And basically, of course, Israel is way more powerful than Palestine. It's maybe one of the most powerful countries in the world. And I always said they have to help them, you know, for the change to happen. They can't expect the poor people to be happy, being constricted and, you know, being like struggling because of their homes are taken and this and that, and many of their people are killed, and you know, this is politics. But now, you know, I say no, we don't need them to change. We don't need the other side to change. Palestinians have to change too, and maybe that's enough, more than enough. They don't have to wait for the Israelis to change. They have to be the change that they want to see, you know, or we have to be the change that we want to see, poor or not. It doesn't matter. Money doesn't give you power in the first place. So that's our mistake, to think that these people who have more money have power. The ultimate power is God's. It is not the people who have the money.
Money buys corruption.
Yep.
Yeah. So
and there's a lot of corrupted people who will be on the take. That's the way why we're where we are.
Yep.
Billy has his hands in everything. He's got everybody bought.
yeah, but he thinks he has so much power. He doesn't. He really doesn't, unless we give away our power.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't. Without us, he doesn't. I mean, his power is to, you know, with his money, control people, but he really cannot control people. Nobody can control people. Nobody can. We can hardly control ourselves. How
Why
can?
does everybody have a mask on?
Yeah.
No, it's the illusion of having authority, like the sense of authority is created, and
Lack
then
of faith.
people accept.
It's the lack of faith.
Yeah, it's a lack of faith.
And the power.
People aren't wearing masks because they're answering to power. They're wearing masks because they think they're doing a good thing. You know, they're not. It's not like, oh, they told me to do this, so I'm going to do it. They see it more as like a community effort.
The answers are out there if you choose to look.
Huh?
They say the answers are out there if they choose to look. People don't choose to look.
Yeah.
But you have to forgive a little bit of what's happening, because the average person is just doing their part. They see it as they're doing their part. They don't see it as some kind of like sinister thing.
100%.
You know, so that's like where we have to, like, I cannot help seeing this as some kind of politically motivated thing, but I'm an exception to how most people are thinking. So I have to like come to terms with that.
Why are we the exceptions?
Huh?
Why are we the exceptions that can see through it?
Well, I don't know. Like I'm intuitively.
I've been searching. I've been looking for the answer to that question for probably 15 years.
It's just my intuition.
All my life. Why is that? And not the one next to me.
My intuition is just saying, like I was saying before, about covering the mouth and not letting people touch each other. It's like that is so fundamentally off-putting. Like those two things are like the most off-putting things I can think of.
They did it instantaneously.
And they nailed it.
How could
They
that?
nailed it so hard. So intuitively, that's just wrong to me. But like, I don't know, you know, it's just one of those things.
Yeah, somehow, I mean, I think like what we want to go after is not the masks. We want to go after more than the masks, right? Right? Like, who cares about wearing a mask, right? And we understand.
I do.
We have to have compassion for people.
They're building quarantine holding centers everywhere.
Like, we have to have compassion for the people who are wearing the masks. No question, right?
They're moving light speed. We better be ready.
Yeah, because they think they are doing their part. They believe they are doing the right thing. We have to be, appreciative that they are doing something, right? Even if it's not maybe the truth, it's okay. At least they're doing something for humanity to help, okay, with good intentions. For now, it's enough. Now, the solution, in my opinion, instead of focusing on the masks, there is much more to focus on. There's much more to focus on. So maybe bashing each other for wearing and not wearing masks is not the best thing. However, I'm not saying to wear a mask if you can basically fight it because you don't believe it's the truth and you don't want to wear it. So if you can avoid wearing it, please avoid wearing it because that's your belief. Just go with your belief. Like I haven't worn it in the past few days. We went to 3 different stores, I think, and nobody talked to us. Everybody was wearing masks. Everybody was wearing masks except for for me, Gino, and Gino's cousin Marco now stopped wearing it. Okay, so Marco, he was happy. He's like he doesn't.
I would have loved to see that.
The word exempt means.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I know. So
he's the definition of exempt.
So funny. And so I said, Marco, you don't have your mask on. He used to always wear it, like there's no question. He had his mask everywhere he goes. And I said, Marco, as we're coming out, leaving the store, I said, you don't have your mask on. He's like, I'm exempt. So funny. He doesn't even know what it means, but he likes to, like, yeah, I'm strong, I don't have to follow the law. I make the law.
You are following the law.
Yeah, it's true. It is the truth, yeah.
Mm-hmm. See
or like my best friend, my best friend in California, like we were talking about all this stuff and he said, dude, if you don't wear a mask, you're just an asshole. You're like the guy who drives like the Harley Davidson and 2 o'clock in the morning and wakes everybody up. You're just an asshole.
Mm.
So it's like, it's, you know,
That's
it's
how-
hard, huh?
That's how they see us when you don't wear a mask.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's like, it's a no-brainer for him. Like, it's just like, dude, you're an asshole, you know?
Yeah. You just pray for them. What can you do? That's his truth or his belief, and your belief is different.
Yeah, and he's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's my closest friend, you know?
Yeah. It's okay. That's his belief. It's a little bit different.
When all their own science shows these masks are absolutely useless and actually harmful.
Science does not prove anything. Science, you will find pro and against masks. Okay, you'll find everything in science. Any study you want, you will find. So science really doesn't mean anything. They will fight you, sure, because most doctors will say, wear your mask. So, you know.
They're
Means a
also
lot coming from a
incredible.
scientist.
Yeah.
They can be incredibly arrogant too. You know, I work for a scientific department, and like, they just think that they're like kings, you know, kings and queens. They just like, it's pathetic,
That's
really.
Scientists,
And
God, no? They can
yeah,
manipulate things, nature.
yeah. And then some of them are the most lovely people you'd ever want to meet. They're so humble and intelligent and funny and like,
Yeah.
you know, so, but by and large, it's a very arrogant culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's already with. Right.
Yeah, I used to work in a stem cell research lab, and yeah, my supervisor, he basically felt like he was God, and he was one of the most famous ones here in Toronto.
Hmm.
Right too. And yeah, he thought he can kill cancer cells with a genetic thing that he's coming up with, stem cells. And technology. Yeah.
everything's going to be solved with technology.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter. Somebody can be
A
drinking
dystopia.
and having destroying their liver, right? But we have a new liver.
Yeah.
Stem cells, and it's made from their own genes using this stem cell technology. So you don't even need a transplant. So they believe that you can make a liver in the lab. You can never, I'm telling you right now, as somebody who has studied science for maybe 10 years, you cannot imitate nature. There is absolutely no way, all scientists know that. There's no way you can imitate nature. There's no way on earth, we all know that you can imitate nature. You cannot put all the little factors. You can put some factors, substances to make a media and environment that is similar to the body, but it will never be the same. And I used to work in embryology as well. And the same thing, we used to put the eggs and the sperm and the embryos in a dish, in a medium that is mimicking the environment inside the uterus. But it's never the same. In fact, it is very harmful to both the eggs, the sperm, and the embryo. And there is a high percentage of abnormalities from artificially artificial reproduction compared to natural reproduction. This is this is a significant difference. And the studies, their own studies have
Look, I need to talk to them. I think I just need to.
that's the studies.
You got some skip.
Scientific studies. So it's they know that. But the patient sometimes is desperate, and the doctor assures them that the percentage is, significant. Okay, I don't think they mention it's significant, but they say it's small, and so it's there, but it's small, And I have a friend actually in Italy who injected sperm. Okay, she has done, of course, so many injections of sperm into eggs, and these people, of course, many of them are infertile, right? And this guy had sperm that are not motile. I think it had no tail, right? Just the genes, basically, and very few. So they had to take it with a microscope, take the sperm, and inject it into the egg. And she did that with a couple of embryos or a couple of eggs and sperm. And she had some embryos developed, maybe, I don't know how many, and then they transferred into the uterus 2 embryos, right? Now the babies were abnormal, okay? And she told me how she felt bad. But what can you do? This is part of it. It's part of it. You're playing with nature. The sperm is not meant to enter the egg. It's sick.
Yeah.
It cannot swim into the egg by itself.
So many people are infertile on both sides.
Yeah.
It's like Frankenstein.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Now you get into the AI, you go way beyond.
Yeah.
Trying to
Oh
merge.
yeah, it's getting so scary.
Yeah, you hear about cloning and this and that. God knows what's going on.
Genetic.
And they get so much money because people think it's cool. So you have old people who are like, you know, home, and they're like, they studied science during their life, and they think it's so cool to support science, you know. So they give them like $20 million so that they can do all this weird stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they have money, and they're you know.
Yeah, I used to think.
Yeah, that's the science world.
Yeah, because it is, you know,
And your outcome will be for sure when you put all that money out.
I think it's kind of become a religion of today.
Yeah, it's
Seems like, say a study about anything, people will believe it because you said it. There was a recent study.
yeah.
yeah, and you can present that however you want. You can present it in half truths, so that the world thinks it's so awesome and everything, but in reality, you're not presenting the whole, all of the data and all, you know, the whole picture. You know.
You can never. You can never.
It's kind of false news.
Mm-hmm.
We are in interesting times. Anybody who master fasts will be extremely fertilized. Fertile.
Fertilizer. Johnny Appleseed.
All right.
Fertile.
Yeah.
Oh
Super
yeah.
fertile.
Yeah. You know, I would like to see people do, you know, a few years cleaning up. Because everybody wants to be pregnant now. Spend 2-3 years minimum. Then, you know, no problem. You can have very healthy kids.
Yeah, and the pregnancy and you know, giving the birth as well. Everything is from what we understand from people who do even parts of master fast, like hybrid. They say that it really helped them so much with the pregnancy and giving birth as well. I'm sure after as well with the milk, right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's too complicated. It's easier to eat.
My brother said this is the worst habit, or what do you say? Oh, pastime, or to each his own.
What's the word? What do you mean?
Oh,
What's
like
the word?
fasting. What a terrible like hobby. It was funny to me.
Yeah, well, if they've never experienced it.
Yeah. No, but he's been saying, I think I gotta fast.
Yeah, there you go. You spark
Yeah.
something in him.
Hey,
Fasting.
thanks a lot. I'm going to cut out.
All right, John.
Thanks,
Okay.
Thanks a
John.
lot.
Have a good
Peace
week.
out.
Bye.
Thank you. Good luck with
Thank you so
your breaking or not breaking.
To you.
See you later.
Great to hear you up there. Bye.
Yeah, it's 10:30, man. We've been going for a while.
Yeah.
When you're having fun, time just flies by. But yeah, fasting is the lifestyle. It's not the pastime. It's a lifestyle, and that's the challenge for people
Hallelujah.
to comprehend, right? So it is what it is. Let's.
I'm going to send you guys some money. I'm going to donate. I'm going to donate because you guys, I want to donate to you guys, but I've been meaning to. So I
Yeah,
just go on the site and I like hit donate. I mean,
yeah, gifts. It's a gift
gift. Okay.
button. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks a
All
lot,
right.
John.
Take it easy.
You
Thank
too.
You too. Mhm.
So yeah, we're let's go into a meditation for those who want to stick around. Nice way to end it, and let's get comfortable. If you want to leave, you can leave. If you want to stay, you can stay. Just a simple meditation. We'll do the thing again. What's it called? I can't even remember the name. Get in a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Close your mouth. Keep your lips sealed. Leave your jaw relaxed. Put your hands in a comfortable position. You can use the normal mudra or the heart mudra. And just let the breath flow. On the inhale, start the breath at the tip of the tailbone. And as you inhale, drive the breath up the spine, up over to the top of the head. Exhale, coming down the front of the body, back around the groin to the tip of the tailbone, and cycle that breath, keeping your tongue at the roof of the mouth, or roll it back and suck on it. With each breath, we become more and more relaxed. Let's bring our attention to the area below the belly button. And you just create the mini tornado, tip of tornado on the body below the belly button. With each breath, the tornado spins faster and faster, bringing balance to that area. If the mind wanders, just bring it back. Keep the breath minimal. When you take in the breath, drive it deep into the groin area. Just minimal breathing. The tornado spinning faster and faster. Body becomes more and more relaxed. Let's move the attention to the genital area. For the females, it's the ovaries. For the men, it's the testes. With each breath, the tornado spinning faster and faster. The body is such a relaxed state, you can't even feel it. The tornado spinning faster and faster, bringing balance to that area. Let's move the attention to the area between the genitals and the anus, perineum. The tornado spinning faster and faster with each breath, bringing balance to that area. Each breath, the tornado spins faster and faster, bringing balance to that area. Just move the attention to the tip of the tailbone. Feel the spines starting to elongate through the fields. The magnetical gravitational fields is what holds positioning in every cell in our body. The whole gravity thing has no chance against field strength. So move the attention to up the spine, in between the kidney area. Kidneys are located just below the bottom ribs, in that area, in the back. Just under the lower rib. Tornado spinning faster and faster, bringing balance to that area. Kidneys, the king and queen. Precious little ones. There's so much work. The tornado spinning faster and faster, bringing balance to that area. Let's move the attention up the spine to between the shoulder blades, middle of the back. So move the attention up the spine to the area of the spine where it meets the skull. Tornado spinning faster and faster with each breath. Bringing balance to that area. Feel the spine elongating, stretching out. Straightening out. In perfect alignment. So move the attention up to the top of the head, middle of the head, skull, 1,000-point junction. Tip of your tornado is touching this point, spinning faster and faster, bringing balance to that area. Bring the attention to the third eye. Tornado spinning faster and faster, bringing balance to that area. spinning faster and faster with each breath. Let's move the attention to the throat, thyroid area. Tornado spinning faster and faster. Bringing balance to that area. Thyroid's response for many things beyond their comprehension. Thermostat, heart rate, mineral conversions, etc., etc. With each breath, tornado spinning faster and faster, bringing balance to that area. It's our voice box. Time to speak up. So move the attention down to the heart chakra. The heart, strongest fields of the physicality. The tornado spinning faster and faster, bringing balance to that area. Let's send out fields of cloth. To all the leaders of the world. So they may have no choice but to choose peace, balance, correct conduct. Fields of cloth have no time, space. It's instantaneous. Each breath, tornado spins faster and faster. Brings balance to that area. And let's move the attention down to the solar plexus. The area above the belly button. Below the ribs. Each breath, tornado spinning faster and faster, bringing balance to that area. You feel a whole sense of restructuring. Spine's gone back to position, stretched out. All the chakras are now spinning correctly, energetically. The heart continues to pump out plasma. As the tornado is getting faster and faster in the solar plexus, bring your balance to that area. Let's go back to cycling our breath from the bottom of the tailbone. Inhale up the spine, to the top of the head. Exhale, going down the front of the body, back to the tailbone. Cycle those breaths. Feel more relaxed. More grounded. More in alignment. Continue sending plasma through the heart space. To all those who have not chosen peace, balance, correct conduct, so that their soul will enforce it. Fields of plaf or fields of creation. As we start coming back, start feeling our toes moving around, fingers, neck. When you're ready, open your eyes. And we're back.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
We keep going.
Keep going.
Ciao, ciao.
Good night.